What's up, everybody? It's Rob Toohey. It is a special time. It is FGCon 15 here on Channel Rob Toohey. We are playing Star Trek Adventures RPG today, and our game master is Talon. Take it away whenever you're ready, sir.
So, the basics of this system are pretty simple, and we'll walk through how to work through different roles on the system. But if you bring up your character sheets, most of what we're going to be doing is going to involve task roles on your main tab. And to make a role, you're going to be selecting whatever attribute and discipline I tell you is involved in your check. You'll click on the die for the attribute that you're using, and then the die for the discipline. And when you're ready to roll, above that in the line, I just wanted to do that. There is a single blue die up top next to the focus button. If you click that single die, it will roll your check. So if everybody wants to just check that mechanic to make sure it works for them, you can tell it worked because if you click the attribute blue die and the discipline blue die, above you'll see a TR number. That's your target number. Basically, each die that rolls below that number counts as a success. And I will give you a difficulty level, usually 1 or 2, and you'll be able to tell how many successes you have. A couple of points on the dies that you roll. Normally, you'll be rolling 2 dies. If you roll a 1, it's considered a critical success, and that counts as 2 successes. So if I give you a task with a difficulty level of 5, there would be no way on your own without any bonuses for you to achieve success. There are a couple of ways to increase your odds. One way to do that is if your focus somehow applies to the check. Say you are doing an investigation of some viral strain that is infecting a planet, and I ask you to make a reason check and science. So your attribute would be reason, your discipline would be science. You would be using a focus. So because of the virology, if you click the focus button next to that top blue die, um, that will roll your focus check. Um, that means if your die, either of the dies, is below the discipline, it will count as 2 successes. So reason, science, focus is checked, and then I click the button. It shows whether or not I achieved any additional successes because of the focus.
So basically, it like extends your crit range.
Yes, exactly. That's
Okay.
the best way to phrase it. Now, some of you rolled a 20. When you roll a 20, that's considered a complication. That will come in after we determine whether or not you achieved a success. This sounds complicated, but once we get into the game, the mechanic makes sense real quick. If there's a complication, that might be something like your phaser is jammed. You need to take an action to fix that, or you shot out the lights and now it's dark and the difficulty level of all the attacks is going to increase. Something like that. That at a basic level are the checks. One other way to improve your odds of success is to use your determination. Everybody starts with 1 determination. To use a determination, one of your values has to be in play. And you can see on your main tab the values that you have. So for instance, Teprel has values like, and you unfortunately have to scroll through these. Hesitation is as bad as inaction. So if she was deciding to quickly take an action, that her value might come into play and she can use a determination. If you use a determination, you get 1 extra die, so you're rolling 3, but that 1 extra die is automatically a critical success, counting as 2 successes. The other way to improve your odds, and for our purposes, the final way, is to spend momentum. Momentum are the little blue tokens with the Starfleet insignia towards the bottom left of this screen. You start off with 0, but as you achieve successes over your target, you earn more momentum. You can have a maximum of 6 momentum. You can use that momentum to purchase extra dies. It's a group resource, so you have to decide amongst yourselves if you're going to agree to use it. 1 momentum can buy 1 additional die. If you want to buy 2 momentum, that will cost you 2 more. So 2 additional dies will cost 3 momentum. And then that last momentum, the most you can buy are 3 dies, will cost you 3. And that would use up your maximum of 6 momentum. Right now, you don't have any. The way you earn momentum is if you had a target difficulty of 2 and you received 3 successes, you would earn 1 momentum. You get 1 momentum for each success over your target number. Now, say you wanted to improve your chances of successes, but didn't have any momentum, you can give me threat. For those of you that have played Conan, it's the same mechanic. And you spend the threat the same way you would momentum, but you give it to me instead. And then I, in turn, can use threat the way you basically use momentum. I can also use it to create complications, etc. Questions?
Yeah, this character sheet doesn't expand to the right. It does it. We can't do that. It doesn't seem.
Correct.
Nah.
So you have to click on the item
And
for
then
those
scroll
that
through
aren't.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, for some of them, for your talents, if you click on the talent, and the talent is on your ability section, those are extra bonuses that you might get depending on your talent. So make sure you take a look at your talents because there are some additional bonuses that you might receive. For those, just click on the Starfleet insignia and it'll tell you what your talent is.
It's actually empty.
Mine all say new talent requirements and nothing else.
Yep.
Which character is yours?
Mine is Lian Zhang.
Mine's the Prel, but I have the quick start, so I can just read it on the second screen.
I can see it on mine.
No, I mean, they're all there, bold, flight, control, and everything. But if you click on the shield, it just brings up blank new talents.
And I'm sorry, you said you're T'Prel?
No, I'm Zhang. Liam Zhang. Lian. Lian, she's a female.
Okay. Yeah, for some reason I can see them. I'm not sure why you can't.
Are
Do you
they
have
in
the reference modules
manual?
open?
I have the the Star Trek, the one you told us. Yeah, it's open.
Yeah. They are not. They're in the talent section. But I'm not sure.
I have the PDF. I can maybe track them down. Yeah. I'll open that too. Okay. Shall go find that.
Trying to drop them in the chat window. I don't know if you can open those or. Does everybody have that issue? They're not able to see it?
I have the same issue.
Yes.
Okay. All right. The PDF that I sent you in the email has the character sheets. You'll be able to see what your talents are in that. So I apologize if that's not working. One other resource that hopefully is available to you, if you go into the library and open up the module that is the Star Trek Adventures Toolkit, there are a number of cheat sheets in that reference manual. So if you click on the reference manual and go to, say, the rules summary, there is a sheet, and I'm going to share it now. Did you all receive that?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that rules summary talks about what we just talked about. It tells you how to roll the tasks. It tells you how to buy extra dice. It tells you once you have momentum, some of the things you can spend your momentum on. And then it talks about how values come into play and how you can increase your roll result by using determination for your values. Hey, Boffrin. You've played this game before, so you've got the general gist of it. I'm just explaining it to the new people and how to access the reference manual.
Where did you say we could access that? I do have your one sheet of rule summary, but I missed where the reference manual can be found.
If you go into the library on the lower right-hand side,
Okay, I see it now.
and open the module that says Star Trek Adventures Toolkit, and then click on the toolkit, and there's a reference manual. For combat, I'm just going to start sharing some that might be useful for people. This explains how combat works. Basically, you can take a minor action and a combat action, a combat task. And then it explains how attacks and damage work. When you're doing melee checks, you have to be within reach, and we'll explain that. That would be a daring and security task that is opposed by your opponent. Whoever has the higher number of successes gets a successful attack. So even if you're attacking, if the opponent has a higher check, they attack you instead. Ranged is not opposed. It is a control and security task against a difficulty of 2. Again, there are other factors that may increase or decrease that difficulty. If you succeed in your attack, whether melee or ranged, you will roll the challenge dice. That is the weapon on the main tab. If you scroll down to weapons, there's a Starfleet insignia. If you drag and drop the number under the Starfleet insignia, it will roll your challenge dice. Challenge dice are a little funky. It's not the number you're looking at. It is the total and the effects. Basically, a 1 is a 1, a 2 is a 2, 3 and 4 are nothing, and 5 and 6 count as 1, but you trigger an effect. And we'll explain that when we go along. If for some reason you need to roll challenge dice for, say, cover, that would be a custom die roll. And the way you would do that is to right click on the D6 next to the modifier target number to the left, click on the custom die, and then click the DCD. And then once you have that up, you can right click to add more. The reason you want to do it that way is so that it rolls. It doesn't seem to be working. Yeah, something's going on wonky there. We'll have to manually figure that out because it's not doing the automatic check. So we'll just move on from that. All right, so we've got the conflict reference. For those of you that there's also conflict momentum spends. Those are important because, again, there are ways to improve your battle tactics. And that sheet explains the conflict momentum spends. If you roll effects, we'll talk about what happens when the effects come in. I don't want to do any information overload at this point. The other thing to keep in mind is you may be at different ship stations. When you're at different ship stations on the reference guide, there are a number of reference sheets that are specific to your role. So for instance, if you're doing communications, this is the one for communications. But again, all of the different ship roles are there. Sensors and systems reference, etc. I don't recommend opening the astronavigation maps. Those are too big. I may have taken them out. And then the GM screen, that's a pretty busy file, but if you're interested in it, it has a summary of different rule systems or different rules for the system. All right. I did a lot of data dump there. Does anybody have any questions? I promise it'll make sense once we start up.
Yeah, I have a question. In the modules, I only see a Star Trek Adventures toolkit, not a reference manual.
Yep. So if you open that toolkit,
Okay.
once you open it, click on the adventure toolkit in the left side of your screen in the library, and then on the right there should be 3 entries that open, one being the reference manual.
Okay, I've only been on Fantasy Grounds once before, and so I'm sure I'm doing something wrong. Can you tell me how to open that? They open it, but I'm not sure how to
Oh,
open it.
bottom
click
right of the screen, there's a thing that says library.
Okay, I found that.
And then
And
click on, once that window's open, click on the modules lower left.
Yeah, yes, I'm there.
And then search by name, just type in STA Star Trek, until it
Yeah,
comes up.
I have found the toolkit. I clicked on load, but that didn't seem to do much of anything on my end.
Oh, really?
Oh, you need to wait for it to load if it hasn't loaded up already.
Is the book open?
The book is open.
Okay, then just wait for it to load.
I did that as soon as it's been.
Oh, okay. So if you
Yeah,
go back
it's
to
been
your
a long
library
time.
screen, you should see accessory on the left-hand side there. You should see accessory Star Trek
Oh,
Adventure.
go back to the library. That was the
Yes.
part I was missing. So there we go. I have found it now.
All right, good to go.
There we go. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Nope, not a problem at all. We're all learning the system in Fantasy Grounds. Okay. So any questions before we begin? This is the second act in a 3-act mini campaign. The first act was run at the Founders Day event. This one is being run at Fantasy Grounds Con. When I think I gave the background of the story, but what happened previously was you had been sent to find a research vessel. It was basically some new tech that Starfleet had designed with new warp drives. In testing the new warp drives on a vessel called the Alcubierre, the vessel was lost on its first maiden mission testing the drives. You were able to locate it, but when you did, you had found that the vessel had been overrun by seemingly a Romulan contingent. You were able to fight off the Romulans, but at the very end, you learned that it wasn't just the Romulans. They were, in fact, infected by neural parasites, and they were up to some sort of mission to take over different personnel on the vessel. You were able to stop that. You reported back to Starfleet, and you have now received word that your new mission is to track down the to investigate a potential follow-up where a Klingon armored space station called the Qatar has suddenly gone dark. You believe that the Romulans had headed off for this Klingon space station as it was the nearest docking station for them to have left for. The interesting thing was before venting the station's air into space, the commander of the Klingon vessel had said in Klingon, "We are not ourselves," and the transmission broke off. Kotar was the source of the signal that had called away the Romulan warbird that had taken over the Alcubierre.
So, are we en route to the Klingon space station right now?
You
Or
are en route to the space station. And let me send you the captain's log. Who is your captain?
Is that an NPC?
So, well,
was,
who's going to be the commander on this?
I mean, Lois is sitting in the chair, so.
What?
Yeah, I think Lois is the highest ranking officer on
great.
board, so the first officer. So, you can go ahead and read the captain's log.
Out loud, maybe? Is that...
Yes.
I was hoping so.
So you're wanting the first officer to read that out loud?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
I do not mind. Captain's log. Avian Stellar Circuit 831.11. The return of the neural parasites has rattled Starfleet Command. While we are certain that the Romulan Star Empire has been compromised, we don't yet know the full extent. Whether the Federation has been infiltrated is unknown, but an air of suspicion has descended even among the crew. They look at each other, wondering who among them may be working against us even now. We've left Starbase 117 with new orders. Portar, the same Klingon armored space station that called away the Decius from the Alcubierre, has suddenly gone dark. Starfleet intelligence intercepted an ominous message sent by the station's commander. In it, the Klingon appeared mad. Something pop up, sorry about that. In it, the Klingon appeared mad, as if suffering from some sort of delirium. With flames roaring in the background, he shouted, "We are not ourselves," before venting the station's atmosphere into space. As we are the nearest ship, the Klingons have given us permission to investigate. I have a bad feeling about what we may find there.
Good job.
They blew themselves out. Wow. Desperate.
So your ship arrives at the Klingon armored space station Kortar. On the border of unexplored space, Kortar is a neglected outpost of the Empire. In its heyday, at the height of the Klingon expansion, this was an important station. Now it sits in one of the outmost frontier regions, all but forgotten. Only those who have fallen out of favor with their superiors find themselves posted here. So you are all now orbiting the Klingon space station. What do you care to do? Just by way of information, you are currently on your ship, and let me send you your ship stats, or at least the relevant ship stats. I didn't populate the weapons for this story yet. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Can I check for what's it called life science? I am a doctor after all, and it would be very logical for me to do so.
You absolutely can. You can make a sensor sweep. Your check would be a reason and science check, but you would be assisted by the ship's sensors. So the ship would roll the sensors and science. So you can go ahead and make those two rolls. I'm not sure if you can roll from the ship's sheet directly or not, but you can try that after you make your own check.
So it's two separate roles or what?
Yes.
Reason and science. Just checking if there's anything else. No, I don't think so.
And as the security offer, I'm assuming I've got the tactical area manned. I'll check for weapons and see about if they've been activated, or see if I can determine the state of alert on the station if there's any.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's do the science officer's check first.
I can only roll from my character sheet, so unless I get a target number from the, I can. No, I can't. Do
Yep.
that
Well,
either.
so you don't type in the target number. So just make your check first, and then if you can't roll from the ship sheet, we can do that manually.
I can't.
Okay. So just make the roll from your character sheet for now.
I already have.
I'm sorry, I missed that. All right, so you have 2 successes there, and from the ship, just go ahead and roll a single d20, and your ship will be using the sensors and science. So your target number is
12.
going to be 9 plus 3, so a total of 12. So roll a d20, and you want to get under a 12.
How do you want me to do that?
Just roll the d20 in the lower left-hand corner. Just roll that
Oh.
manually.
Right. So it's 2d20. Did you say right?
No, this when the ship assists, it's just a single d20.
Okay.
Oh,
Whoa.
damn.
Okay.
That's awesome.
All right. So,
Can we
you
switch
were
to
able
D&D right now?
Exactly.
No.
All right. So the good news is you were able to get some information, but at some point, you spilled your coffee over your workstation, and a number of sparks went up. It's going to increase the difficulty of your next check by 1 because the system is sort of messed up. But you are able to get some preliminary information. So,
For notes, I'm a Vulcan. I drink tea.
okay.
Tea on the bridge. What do you think this
Earl
is?
Grey? All right,
Beverages
so
on the bridge. What do you think this is? The Orville or something?
so he had his Earl
I'm
Grey
sorry,
on.
sir.
All right. So the good news here is this was actually a difficulty 0 check, but you could have gotten complications, which you did. But the 2 successes grant you 2 momentum. So you have 2 momentum in the group pool now. All right. What you did find is that there are no life signs on the station. And there are no other vessels docked with the station and none within sensor range. Now, the security person was going to be making a check as well.
If I'm
Yeah, I
verified.
was going to see if the station was left on red alert or had weapon system powered up or anything along those lines.
Okay, so you can do a reason and security check.
While
For the
he's
record,
doing
I
that,
forward
sorry.
I'm forwarding the data I got from the screen to the commander's screen he has, so he can see what I found.
Okay.
Thank you.
And while he's making his check, can we assume that the things that take over the people are life forms, or can we not assume that?
You can assume they were life forms. So when you discovered the parasite infestation, you were able to debrief on the ship's computers and had learned that the Enterprise had recently, well, not recently, but about 8 years ago, encountered the creatures fitting this description. So you're well aware of the previous attempt to infiltrate Starfleet.
Okay.
With our initial sensor sweep, were we able to tell if the commander of the station vented the entire station, or is it like just the bridge of the station? Basically, is there an atmosphere over there, or is it all vent?
I'll get to that in 1 minute. Let's do the security check first.
All right.
Who was making that check?
That was me.
Okay. So I'll take the first roll, which is 1 success for now. And then go ahead and do the system, the computer aid from the ship. So that would be, yep.
There we
All
go.
right, so that would be sensors plus security. That would have been a total of 11. So you're under, you succeeded, you've got 2 successes. You are able to determine that there is an escape pod drifting in an asteroid field, which actually shows one faint life sign aboard. It appears to be Klingon, though you're not able to tell too much. The pod has suffered some hull damage. All right, so you had 2 successes. You guys have a total of 4 momentum. Whenever you do checks like this, you can spend momentum for additional information. So if you care to, you can spend some momentum and get some additional information. Basically, it's 1 momentum for each piece of additional information. I'll tell you when you've used up all the potential options, so you're not wasting it if you wanted to spend it. How useful the information depends on how much more momentum you think you'd be getting.
As the commander,
Captain Lois, there's an escape pod Klingon out there. It seems to have a life form in it near the asteroid belt.
all right, is this something we can lock a tractor beam on, or are we going to have to think about bringing that on board immediately? Transporting it.
So I'm sorry, just one question before we go. Are you going to spend momentum or no?
On
Who
what?
gets to decide that? The one who garnered the momentum, or
That's a
I'm
group
not-
decision.
Yeah.
So the group can decide. Whenever you spend momentum, that needs to be a group decision since it's a group resource.
Mhm.
I think you should always spend momentum. It doesn't do any good sitting there.
Are there so when you play in this
I do
game, are there
recommend the-
are there situations where you're like, oh, I wish we had that momentum back? Like, does that occur?
It can, but even if it did occur, if you didn't have any momentum but wanted to use it, you could instead give me threat, which gives you your bonus but lets me come back and do something at a later point.
Ah, okay.
yeah, I'm
Captain,
in
should
agreement.
I scan the life pod, sir?
Yes.
So now it gets tricky for me, right? Because of that T accident.
You actually don't need to do another scan. At this point, it's a
Okay.
question of if you want to spend the momentum.
Yeah. Do we want to spend the momentum, see if the security scan picked up something on it, is the basic question at this stage.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
I
Of
think so.
course.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
All
Okay,
right.
so basically, you have the option of spending 1 or 2 momentum or none.
Let's just take 1.
Okay. Whoever made that decision and did the scan, go ahead and left click on the momentum token that currently shows as 4. Drag that into the chat window.
There you go.
All right. So this question was previously asked, and you spent the momentum, and you found out that in terms of the atmosphere, the infirmary on Kortar is the only section of the station that retains an atmosphere. Emergency bulkheads and hatches have sealed it off from the rest of the station.
Well, I'm glad we found that
relay.
out. Don't want to beam over to where there's no atmosphere.
Yep, I passed that information on because that's
I missed that.
damn
Could you
handy.
repeat it, please?
Excellent. I'm glad you're able to read that in your tea leaves.
I missed it completely. I'm sorry.
Do we know if the life pod, the escape pod is moving?
The escape pod is not moving at this point.
Okay, so we don't have any big hurry to get to that.
It's also had some hull damage, so we
and
may
there is a
need to
Klingon
bring it
life
aboard.
sign on board.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe we
whoever's-
get that guy on first before we, because he'll have info, right? And before we go, although
Yeah.
he could be infected. Oh my god! Oh, I'm glad I'm not the captain.
Yep.
Right. From what we
set-
know,
Tactical suggestion: we if we beam him aboard, we beam him directly into the brig.
That's a prudent course of action.
Or into the med bay's quarantine, or no, quarantine field in the med bay.
I think the latter, because the life signs were weak, and I think we are able to put up quarantine shield in the med bay.
Of course.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Remember, though, Klingon anatomy and physiology allows them to survive in lower at lower atmospheres and such due to the redundancies they have built into their body.
All right. And what do you suggest in that regard?
So while you're debating this, I just want to make one clarification. You had the option of spending 1 or 2 momentum. You spent the 1. Were you deciding to just spend the 1, or did you want to spend the other one?
I think we decided just to spend the 1, didn't we?
And this would be
Yeah.
for additional information. Is that what that's for?
Yes.
I don't know.
Well-
If there's additional information to be had, I like to have information.
Yeah, I say that too.
Okay. Let's spend an additional 1 then.
Okay, Quellis.
All
thank
right,
you.
there we go.
So the other piece of information that you obtained is that the asteroid field is rich in kelbinite. It's a refractory mineral, and that's going to create some complications for you. So the asteroid field is in about medium range away, 1 zone away. But it creates interference because it's a refractory mineral, which means that transporter use is risky. It's not impossible, but it's known to deflect energy beams, which increases the difficulty check of any transporter or tractor beam task.
Well, it
What
looks
if-
like the asteroid belt has
Yes.
give us a situation with attempting to beam out the life support pod. I don't know if we want to take a shuttle in or getting closer. How would it affect the tractor beam? Same deal, or
Yep. You can make the check. It's just a little bit harder. It increases the difficulty by 1.
It seems that tractor beaming the pod into the shuttle bay is safer for us, and then once he's in the bay, we can transport him into the medical quarantine. Whereas if we just try to transport him out, we might kill him. What do you guys think?
Right. We wouldn't even have to wait until, if we're tractoring that out of the asteroid, we wouldn't even have to wait until it got into the shuttle bay before we transported the Klingon.
Right, just out of the field. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we could even, in fact, leave that pod outside the ship so that we don't unnecessarily bring on board something we don't want.
Mm-hmm.
So so you
I
mean
would recommend that so we don't bring anything on board. We have seen what virulent things can do to people, so let's not do that.
I'm in agreement with that plan.
just to be clear, we're going to tractor the pod outside of the asteroid belt and then transport them on board?
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
Okay, so in order to use your tractor beam, it's actually something that you've got to get within close range. So you've got to use your impulse engines to maneuver close enough to engage the tractor beam.
Oh, snap. I got to do some driving.
Yep.
All
So
right.
the player in the helm role must safely maneuver the starship 1 zone into the asteroid field. This is a control plus con task. assisted by the ship's engines and con. It's got a difficulty of 2.
Now I'm in the con. Does that also mean I'm in the helm, or are they fused together, or what's the story?
It depends on role. You can actually decide who's in which position. So, Chaprel is your medical officer.
Can I
Nathania,
assist?
you can do assist, yes.
I'll move over there and do an assist.
Okay, so who's making the main check?
Is this the person? It's a con check, right?
Yes, this is going to be the character is going to make a control and con task check,
And
assisted by the engines and con.
are we generally allowed to collude and compare character sheets and say who's got the best chance of making the roll? Can we? Is that accepted?
Yep, absolutely.
That's
and
you.
Absolutely, and basically you can tell by the assignment that each individual character has. So Quellis is your chief of security. Lois is your first officer, so she's good at command. Con officer is Lian Zhang. Nathania is the science officer, so good at science checks. And Taprel is the medical officer.
And the lower the number, the better.
No, the higher the number, the better. The lower the number on the die roll, the better.
Yeah, okay.
Because
so my control is 11 and my con is 4.
That's all you.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the best, I think.
Oh, okay. So I roll both of those.
And I'm sorry, who is this?
This is sorry.
This is Rob
This
Tui.
is Zhang. Zhang. She's the con
Zhang,
officer.
yes. And something to keep in mind. You have a focus that applies here. You've got navigation and propulsion systems, so you can check the box for focus used. That will increase your crit range. If you wanted to, you don't have to. You could use determination because one of your values applies here because you've got propulsion as a science.
That's not worth it. What was?
It's not worth
Wouldn't
it.
I
You
be
say?
rolling the same to assist?
Yeah, you would be rolling the same check as the person making the initial check. I will allow one person to assist on this. It's no different than the classic episodes.
Okay, so could you go over the last thing you said about if I wanted to, I could add. I know about the focus, but what was the second thing?
You could use determination. You only get one determination, but since you have a value that would apply here, you could use your determination and you would automatically have 2 successes.
And the determination is 1 per game.
For our purposes, yes.
Yeah, okay, so then no, because this is just me trying to drive over a couple feet. All right, so I'm rolling control and con, and do I do those individually, or is there a thing that rolls it all together?
For the ship?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was doing this off my personal sheet.
You are doing it off your personal sheet.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I thought you already did it.
Oh, no. The assisted person did his.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yes, you would do it off your sheet then, which is, what did we say? Control and con.
Yes.
Oh, so I click control and con. It gives me a 15, and then I do the thing.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. That's allegedly it. Did I win?
You did. So you
right.
got 2 successes.
Did I win?
You almost got a success.
All
That's
right, so
enough.
I slew my butt right over there to the spot we need to be in.
So you are able to maneuver the ship. You are now within range to use the transporter or the tractor beam. Which you were you going to use the tractor beam and then beam them aboard?
Yes.
What your plan was?
Yes.
We want to tractor beam him out of the field and then leave the pod outside the ship, but beam him off of it into the medical quarantine. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. You can go ahead and make your check for the tractor beam. For the tractor beam, that is let's see. That is going to be a control plus security task assisted by the ship's structure and security. Because of the interference of the Kelbinite, this is going to be a difficulty 3.
Momentum.
Now, one other thing. Critical failure here is also an issue. Because there's been some structural damage to the pod, your threat range on the complication is increased by 3. So on a roll of 18, 19, or 20, there's going to be a complication.
So this is Lois. This is the commander asking. Given this information, and since the material in the asteroid field is going to be deflecting and reflecting both tractor beam energies and transporter energies. It seems like we have a risk to the Klingon either way. What's everybody's thoughts about which is the greater risk to the life form in the escape pod? Should
The
we just go
transporter
ahead and
is-
the transporter is the greater risk?
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Once we get him out, then we'll be fine. But yeah, I'd rather tractor beam him out. I mean, we could kill him, but I think we have our best chance of success of not killing.
I mean, we could kill him, but, it's a Klingon.
Well, the needs of the many isn't hurt by that.
So
Okay,
yeah,
I heard-
the answer to the question, I believe, is tractor beaming him out, then beaming him on board is safer.
No, that was our original plan, and I heard general consensus just
Yep.
now from everyone that was the case. So, all right.
All right, so the check is a control plus security task for the character, and the ship will assist with structure and security.
I'll roll for the ship. Or do you
So
want one person to do both rolls?
we can break it up however you want to do it. Why don't we break it up? That way more people are involved. So whoever is going to assist with the ship, that is going to be a target of 12. Roll 1 die, and we'll see if you succeed. And don't forget to check your focuses to see if they come into play.
I could have swore I saw a 10 on that die.
I
Me
know.
too.
I cannot do tractor beam. I do sensors and internal systems, so someone else will have to do that.
Okay, so who is going to make the character check?
Now, something about Quellis. I noticed that Quellis has a 14 medicine.
Yep.
Nice.
Okay. With being the chief of security?
That's absolutely a mistake. So let me double check on that. Good catch.
Maybe it's because you're always knocking people out, and then you gotta help them out after you knock them out.
I think Lian Chang has a high success of rolling that on the tractor beam, probably.
As a proud daughter of Andoria, I pride myself on sitting there and making sure people hit the floor.
Nice. Yeah, I have a 14 if I do the check for the tractor beam.
Oh yeah, that's better than mine.
Although when I click, I see, gotta click this and then this. Oh yeah, okay. And what determines if I use focus again? I can't remember.
Focus, if it somehow relates to the task at hand, you can go ahead.
Focuses. Avian breeding. Avian breeding. Quantum mechanics, subspace physics. Ooh, I want to try to say that subspace physics has something to do with it.
I would agree with that.
All right, here we go. Come on, Snake Eyes. Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh wow.
All right, so
I-
what happens here is
Not good.
hold on a second. I'm just sharing some sheets here because I think this might explain why you couldn't see the tasks. Let me just do this real quick and then I'll explain what kind of shitstorm just happened.
Damn it. It's a meteor field, not a shitstorm. Well,
Rob, you tried to kick in the door too early, damn it.
I did. What's up, bitches? Kick in the door. Oh, my lord.
Like how bad of a complication is it? Like, do we push the escape pod
he's
into
looking
an
it
asteroid?
up right now. He's got the physician's desk reference on his, and he's going through to see how bad we're gonna die. Oh.
Actually, I'm just I'm letting
getting
the
all these
suspense build
talents
as
out.
I try and fix something.
Yeah, now those links work. Yeah, absolutely.
So let me ask if the proverbial gawk has hit the fan. To keep it Trekish here, might I need to sit there and attempt an emergency transport on the Klingon?
That is actually a very valid point. So here's what happens. You are able to get the tractor beam to engage and lock onto the ship, but it is not a clean engagement, and you can see the ship start, or the pod start to break apart under the strain of the tractor beam.
Oh.
So your suggestion is a very good one. You probably want to beam that sucker out as fast as possible.
All
So
right.
could I make that a daring security check?
You know what? It would normally be
May
control and engineering. So it's not, I won't say security, but it could be daring and engineering. I'll allow either control and engineering or daring and engineering.
may I make a suggestion? Since I'm obviously completely unfazed being a Vulcan, I have a value that's called hesitation is bad, and we do not wish to lose him. So I'm willing to use my determination to get the automatic successes and maybe use a momentum. My dice would be
Yes.
terrible.
You can do that, but you have to make the check.
Yeah, which would be terrible, but I will have at least 2 successes. Should I use 1 momentum for that?
No, my counter with that is I have a daring of 12 and an engineering of 2, which gives me 14.
Okay,
And
so
I could use fearless perhaps in this because we definitely do not want to lose that Klingon there. Be bad for operations.
I would still suggest using a momentum.
Yeah, I'm okay with just doing as much as we can to ensure.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Right. This is
this is
our only clue. He or she is our only clue at this point. So yeah.
Go for it.
Oh, and you know what? I could use my value of rash and reckless, since this is a rash and reckless counter reaction.
Yep, either one of those would work.
All right. So we'll go for the. Dang it. I got to quit double rolling.
Whoa. I think you're okay.
Yep. So.
Shouldn't he have rolled 3 dice?
Yeah, so he double rolled by mistake. So the first one will count. Doesn't matter. Either one would have worked. The first 2 are successes. Now you're doing this through the Kelbinite field. So there are some additional complications here modifying it. The Klingon's not on a transporter pad, so that increases the difficulty by 1. You are going to have the interference from the Kelbinite, so that increases the difficulty by 1. Where were you performing the check?
Since I probably would have been monitoring the security station, I would have done it through that when we saw, because we would have noticed from there that the ship was starting to break up.
Okay, so not from the transporter room.
Yeah, not from the transporter room.
Okay,
But I am willing to spend my value, the rash and reckless,
okay, you can do that.
and that would give us the 2 successes.
All right, so go ahead and make the ship check as well now, just to see if there's any complications.
Oh,
And there is.
Uh,
All right. So you are able to lock on to the Klingon with some amount of maneuvering. Where were you beaming him?
sick bay.
Yeah, the medical quarantine.
yep.
Yeah, and
medical
I have
quarantine.
notified my staff, of course.
Can we cross circuit to A and cross circuit to B? Remember anybody?
TOS.
Yeah.
Yep.
The other thing to keep in mind is if you had failed this, you could have used your determination for something called a moment of inspiration if you had a value that applied, and you did. So you could have used that to re-roll the dice. All right. So with the complication, rather than kill off your Klingon, I am going to say that I get 2 points of threat. So I've just added that to my pool.
You are a kind and merciful game.
You guys say that till he spends threat.
Kalis has blessed us this day.
And I'm sorry, you were beaming him where?
Medical quarantine.
Sick bay.
Okay,
Quarantine
sick bay?
field.
Okay. Hold on.
You were beaming him where? Oh, just out into space. No big deal.
All right.
Oh,
You
snap.
have beamed him. You have beamed him into sick bay. Let me just put him on the map so you can see him.
I turn towards the commander and say, I think I better go make a checkup on our newly arrived guest, sir.
Absolutely, please do.
And who is that?
To Prel. I will move there.
Okay, I apologize. I don't have to Prel on here.
You can. I think you can drag and drop from image to image.
I can. Yep. All right. So, when you arrive in sick bay, you see that the Klingon is unconscious. His cranial plates are unusually thick, and his body is developing an exoskeleton. Paralyzed from the waist down, he is horribly mutilated with a gruesome injury on the back of his neck. Unfortunately, he dies almost immediately after you rescue him.
Oh, what the hell?
Well, I'll take away the force field looking thing then. We don't
Well,
need it.
No. I do believe that, since death is so soon, we have a chance to revive him, and I would like to do that very fast.
You can go ahead and make the check.
It will be a.
That would be either a reason in medicine or
Absolutely.
Okay, go ahead and do reason in medicine.
I want this fellow to live because I'm a doctor.
Wait. Are you transmitting images of this up to us?
No, I don't care about that. I can use the my searcher focus, right?
Because he's a doctor.
You can,
Jim.
yes.
Because he's
So
a
I
doctor,
check
Jim,
that.
not a videographer.
That does using the focus cost a momentum?
It does not.
Okay. But I would like
I
to.
am, however, going to spend 2 threat to make this a more difficult check.
Can I, if you don't mind, I'll spend a momentum. So I have 1 more die, right?
You do.
Give it
Do you
out of the way.
Do you have to
I'm
tell
go-
us what the difficulty is first, or do we roll and then hear the difficulty?
Normally I would tell you the difficulty. So
What
this
should-
is going to be a 5.
Is that the completion range?
I'm sorry?
Is that the completion range?
That is your target number. You need 5 successes.
And I can add d20s to roll to +1 because of the momentum, right?
Yes.
Right.
Oh,
Holy
snap!
crap.
Look at that.
Ha ha!
Wow. That is impressive. Okay. This guy was not meant to survive.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Because
You know, I think at this stage as a security, I'd be running the I would be monitoring this on the screen.
Well,
all right, so here's what happens. You are able to save him. He is no longer dead, just mostly dead. But he is unconscious and he is not responsive to anything at this point. It's going to be some time before he is going to be able to respond to any questioning. You can
obviously.
see you can see that the mutilations on his body, as you were saving him, you observe that they were self-inflicted. It was as if the majority of the trauma he suffered was from well, given what you know and the location of the wounds on the back of the neck, he seems to have been doing a self surgery to excise the parasite.
I will, of course, put him into an induced coma because he obviously needs to rest for quite a long while. I am very much wanting to make a complete scan of him to make sure there's nothing inside him that we don't like.
All right. One other point that you did observe, he's in a de-evolutionary state. He seems to be reverting back to a primitive form of Klingon, something you would see on Discovery. So it's
Not that episode.
Wait, is it does he kind of look like he's hitting a bit of that Barclay protomorphosis
Yeah, exactly.
morphosis syndrome? Yeah.
not that you can tell.
So
Well-
just to roll the comments back to mostly dead, I have heard of this guy called Miracle Max.
a fun storm in the castle.
He's apparently your science officer now.
Can I quickly make a recent medicine check to make sure there are no parasite in him?
Go ahead. And you can assist with the sensor and medicine from the ship.
I'll just roll this first. Is virology a focus I can use on this?
Yes.
Okay. Will someone else roll for the ship for me?
Ooh, I haven't done a ship roll yet. Which one is it?
This will be sensors and medicine.
Okay, sensors. Medicine.
That's 11.
And I don't think it'll
it's
let you
12.
roll. I don't think it'll let you roll from the ship. Well,
Just
Oh,
roll
do
a
I just
D20.
roll a d20?
yeah.
Yes.
And we'll manually calculate the success.
Okay, so it's 12.
Actually, you can roll from the ship if you click on the button that's on there. It just rolled for me.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right, I'm out. I'm out.
Okay.
Okay, now it works.
Yep. Perfect.
Well, I think we had 4 successes totally.
Let me see.
I had 3.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So that means you've obtained how many momentum? 2 momentum. All right. So what was it you were looking for?
Just to make sure there are no pathogens or parasites. I mean, we've dealt with those. We don't want to be surprised by them. Just to make sure there's nothing in him that we should be afraid of.
Okay. You do not see any evidence of the parasite remaining in this Klingon.
Okay. So
You can, if you decide, spend momentum for additional information, and you could spend up to 3 momentum if you cared to.
How much should I use, guys?
I'd say just one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need
So
some.
so what you can do is you can spend 1, get the information, and then decide if you want to keep going or not.
Okay, I'll spend 1.
All right. It is clear from your examination that alien DNA was artificially introduced into this Klingon's genome.
Whoa.
Oh. And I guess I'll have to spend momentum to ask the question: was it deliberate?
You would have. Well, I mean, you don't have to spend. You don't have to spend momentum on this. If it was introduced, it was clearly deliberate.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, no,
okay.
that's not true. That's not true. It could have been some sort of natural phenomenon, although you're not sure how that would happen.
I think we should save some momentum, so I'll go to a communicator and call the bridge and relay all the information I just gotten to our commander.
All right. Thank you, Chaprel. Is there any way that you can isolate the alien DNA and determine what kind of species it may have come from?
I'll get to work on that right away, Captain, and I will do so.
Thank you.
Hang on a sec. Did you analyze my ice blades for the alien DNA that was on it from the parasite? Just as a quick comparison.
Did I do that?
You can go ahead and make a check if you care to on whether or not there's a match.
I take it it's the same rule.
Yeah.
Yeah, and since it's virology, so it's focus based.
Look at those.
You can go ahead and make the ship check as well.
Oh yeah, that's. Oh, I found that. Sensors.
Okay.
My dice works again.
I'll give you 1 more momentum for that, and you are pretty certain that there is a DNA match between the two.
Okay, I relayed that message.
Can you remind me what we have compared this to?
Right. That we were basically Captain, if you remember, when we encountered the organism down previously, it came down to melee combat, and I kind of had to stab it a few times. So I told him to check the DNA signature that'd be left over on my blade from the residue of it.
Ah, that blade. Thank you. All right. Are we thinking about an away team to the station at this point, or is there anything else from here?
I think that would be wise.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so the plan is to go to the station. You're
Yes.
gonna go. All right, you're gonna beam to the infirmary.
The only place with atmosphere, yes.
Yeah, I think.
Well, we do have suits. I mean, we could put
That is
those on.
true.
We were able to
Yeah.
go other places.
As a matter of fact, I think we should wear them.
Yeah, I
then-
would definitely recommend that.
Yeah, and then in case we want to go, or if we can't restore atmosphere, like maybe we can figure out how to close the door and re-atmosphere the station.
So the way that works is if you want to use special equipment, that costs 1 momentum per piece of equipment. Now, if you don't have enough momentum, you could give me threat again. So right now you have 3 momentum if you wanted those life support suits to go on anywhere in the ship. That would cost you a total of 6 combined, either momentum and or threat. I'm sorry, 5.
Well, we
So
don't all have to go, do we?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's 1 per person then.
Yes.
Dear Lord.
All right. So who do we think should go? We definitely need.
Engineering should go, and probably security should go.
Yes.
So that way there's a guard for the engineer.
Yes.
That would be my recommendation, Captain.
I would like to go, but I'm sure I would be reminded of regulations to not put myself in danger,
Yeah.
which I might ignore. No, not yet. I'm not going to ignore that yet. All right. I think Quellis and who's the engineer? Nathania?
Yeah. No, I'm science. Nathania's science.
Oh, we don't have the engineer.
I can go, though. I have a focus in EVA and biology and sensors operations.
There we go.
I think it would be only logical for me to stay behind because it would not do that Doctor got infected. I'm better at fixing people than fixing myself.
I think that's a good idea.
It's terrible. I'd want to bring like a couple of red shirts with me too.
Absolutely.
Does that count as special equipment?
Oh, by the way, is that a thing in the game? Like, do we have NPC expendable crew members and the like?
You actually do. So, and unfortunately, I had them coded up, and that's one of the things I lost. But you can do NPC crew if you are in a scene where you are not taking your main character. You can absolutely bring in a ship standby and bring them on. So for those of you that are not going down, if you cared to, you could have red shirts go down, or alternatively, you could keep red shirts on the ship and your other officer staff and have them man the ship while you go down on the away team.
Now, do we have the theoretical red shirt engineer?
Yeah, I would say you do. So if somebody wants to take Hanor Dell, that is the chief engineer.
Anybody?
Well, Rob, I know you like kicking in the door. This is a chance.
I'll do that. Let's see. Yep.
Yeah, that's a joined trail, isn't it?
It is.
Okay, I've got her.
All right, that sounds like a good away team.
All right, so tell me, who is going on the away team?
All right, so it sounds like it'd be Quellis and Hanor. And that would be 2 suits, which would be...
Yeah, 2 suits.
Yep, so go ahead and spend the each of you that are going, drag a momentum. Okay. Where on the ship are you going?
We're gonna beam to the infirmary.
Yep.
Start there.
The only place with atmosphere.
Okay.
I will, of course, keep an eye on their life signs from the bridge.
Or honestly, would it be better for us to just go ahead and go to the engineering section?
Since we have the suits.
Yeah.
Okay, that might be a better idea. And Zhang will stand by to... Oh, snap. Zhang will stand by to emergency warp out when The two that just beamed over blow up the station.
Okay, you're going to engineering.
Yes.
Okay. Hold on. Let me find a map for that. All right, I don't need a map for that. Okay, so you are able to beam down to engineering. It is a large Klingon space station, so the engineering area is pretty much what you would expect in terms of the equipment on the ship. What are you going to do while you are here?
Okay.
All right.
The engineer would like to immediately search for panels and such that would offer the chance to reestablish the atmosphere on the station.
And I will start checking exits and entrances to and investigating it to make sure that the engineer's able to work.
Okay, let's do the security check first. So you're going to do a security sweep to make sure there are no present dangers coming after you.
That's correct.
Okay, that will be I'm going to say insight and security. And that'll just be a
All right.
difficulty 2.
All right. And would we count a station as Starship internal security, or
I'm sorry?
would I be able to use my focus of Starship internal security on this?
Yeah.
Dang.
God, it
All
was
right.
on me.
That is not a success, and you have a complication. I know what that'll be.
Romulans. By the way, what does focus do again? It gives you somehow an advantage.
Yes, it increases your critical range.
Oh, right. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So as you're checking the panels and the security of the area and checking systems, you inadvertently set off an alarm. So the entire facility is just sounding that alarm.
All right. I will try to turn off the alarm.
Okay, after some time, you don't even need to make a check on that. You're able to shut it off. But if there are people on the station, they're going to know.
And they also, okay.
So one of the talents the commander has is constantly watching. I'm not quite sure how talents play into this, but it seems like she would be insistent that she would be monitoring this in any way that she could. Or I'm going to talk in the first person. I am insistent.
All
Okay.
right, and
Yeah,
constantly watching. And I deleted that one. Damn it. Hold on. Constantly watching does what?
Yeah.
Do you want me to read it? It says, when you attempt a task to detect danger or hidden enemies, reduce the difficulty by 1.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm not sure that's what the commander is doing at the moment, but that helps me to know how that works. Thank you.
Do you have the PDF that I sent via email? That'll
I-
have the. I'm sorry.
I do. Yes, I do. So,
Okay, that'll have their talents in there so that you have it if you can't see it on the sheet, and I couldn't see it on your sheet.
Oh, you can't see it on my sheet?
I see the talent there, but not the description.
Oh, right.
Oh, I just noticed I had a bold talent. Would that have allowed me to re-roll that 20?
To re-roll if you used your determination, yes.
Okay, if I'd done the determination.
Oh, wait a minute. You've got a bold talent. I'm sorry. No, let me look at
Yeah.
that. Who is that?
That is Quellis.
So Quellis with bold. Whenever you attempt a task with security and buy, so you didn't buy more D20s by adding the threat.
Okay.
If you had, you
Yeah.
could have used that.
Oh well, I'll keep that in mind.
Okay. All right. So the alarm was set off, but you don't see anybody coming at you at the moment. Now somebody was going to be making another check to do what?
To reestablish atmosphere on the entire station so that the people that are coming to kill us can breathe.
Okay. You can go ahead and make that check. That is going to be, what did we say that was? How about control and science?
Control and science, okay. And then power systems is a focus. Does that apply here?
You're not rerouting power.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say no.
Okay. All right.
Okay. 2 successes. You are able to turn on the life support. You're able to seal off some of the hull breaches and revent the atmosphere. It takes some time, but you're able to do it.
Okay, so I will Delta Magellan. Atmosphere on the stations have been restored.
Good job.
And I'll turn to my security officer and go, is anybody coming to kill us?
As there's usually a panel for these things, especially I'm assuming on a Klingon station. There's probably a security station down here in engineering because every point's a fighting point. So I will start going through the security panel and see if if there's anything that tells me that or indicative of it.
Yeah, motion on the station anywhere or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and make a check.
All right. What should I do?
So you're
Control
doing
security or?
Yeah, that works.
All right. Let's see. And could I still use the internal security focus?
Yeah, I'll allow it.
Okay. Booyah.
You're going to get 1 momentum.
All right. I'd like to
and-
spend one of that momentum to improve an effect if we have it.
Nothing to improve here. So you can keep the momentum, but you are able to see that there are some. You're not able to pinpoint it precisely, but somewhere around the infirmary, you are identifying life signs.
Like we got life signs in the infirmary.
Oh, so there was some sort of sensor block before then. Yep, we'll inform the ship and then head that way, I guess, and then maybe ask, are we going to get any more personnel to come over or no? Security team, we don't need suits anymore.
Yep. I'd be good for having a couple of red shirts around.
Yeah. They go
Make it
first.
so.
Go first.
Operation Get Behind the Red Shirt.
Right, that's right. So yeah, we'll Delta Magellan, Captain, can you send over a security team?
Yes.
We have found life signs in the infirmary.
Yes, absolutely. Make it so.
Can I see that on our sensors now?
Good question.
No. For some reason, the ship sensors are blocked.
Makes sense.
They were
wait
able-
a second.
They were
Hang
able
on.
to make the check on the station, but from the ship, for whatever reason, it's blocked.
Hanor, can you patch a sensor feed from the station and pipe that into the ship?
Yeah, he's able to share the information of where they had the general lock, but you're not able to get a more precise location.
I inform the captain of this development since I can see it now.
All right. I think maybe we should send them some help.
You're the captain.
That's right. Let's send them some help. How about 1, 2, 2 red shirts?
2 red shirts.
All right, so for our purposes, I'm going to create some quick red shirts. Hold on.
So has anybody read Scalzi's novel Red Shirt?
I've seen it, but I haven't read it yet.
Okay, no spoilers then.
Is it officially sanctioned by the Star Trek people?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I haven't read that, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I was thinking maybe the doctor should go since there's life signs around in the infirmary.
Two
I will
reds.
go.
2 reds and a doc.
All right.
Oh dear. Well,
Give
logically,
me a quick second. I've just created some red shirts.
Logically, I will have a red shirt in front of me and one behind me. That's just science.
The doctor sandwich.
Well, I have defensive tactics. I mean,
The audiobook of Red Shirts is read by Will Wheaton.
I'm just creating some quick red shirts, so give me a second. Okay, there should be 1 red shirt available.
Red Shirt 1. Yeah, so the players that aren't doing anything can grab the red shirts.
Exactly.
grab the red shirts. Isn't that a red alert, Captain?
grab the red shirts.
So where are the red shirt tokens? I've got so many things on my screen.
If you just click on upper right, if you click on characters, it'll open the window, and there's 1 available now.
Fantastic.
He's going to put the second one in a second.
We don't have a map for the station, do we? Or do we?
You will in a moment.
Oh, okay.
I think we jinked when he expected us to dodge.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about the living Klingon.
We're not supposed to save him. You rolled amazingly. Hey, you're the doctor. You're supposed to save people.
I am.
Right. That's why you did your best.
Let's face it, it's not every day you can save a Klingon from amateur self-surgery.
He's a cutter. He's a goth.
All Klingons are goths then.
Right. That's right. They're probably all cutters too. Because, bad parents.
What do you mean? Because Batless. And Kalis, yo. Kalis.
Yeah, Kalis, yo. That's what you have to say.
Kalis the cutter.
That's good.
Klingon the Masquerade. Nah.
Oh, wow. Klingon the Masquerade.
Man, it was funny right up till then.
Have any of you actually played that? Masquerade?
Kalis the Masquerade? No, I can't say I have.
Not, no.
All right, Red Shirt 2 is available.
Oh no, just need a couple of people to take them.
I grab one.
Who wants
And
the
who
other one?
wants Red Shirt 1?
Who else not going already? Who?
I think
could
it's
take
you.
it. It's me. Okay, so I could take it, or somebody else. All right,
I think it's you.
it is me.
So I will take the red shirts with me down to the transporter room and transport to whatever location the rest of them are.
And one of you is staying on the ship, or does somebody else want to go down? It'd be easier if somebody just went down rather than making another Red Shirt.
I'm going down there.
Okay, perfect.
It's a problem.
So who's the third character going down? There's 2 Red Shirts. There's Quellis.
That's me.
There's
It's a problem.
who's the last one? I'm sorry.
Nathania's going down as a red shirt.
Okay. Wait, does Nathania have a Red Shirt?
Yes. Red shirt 2.
My question is, who doesn't have a Red Shirt or a character on the ship right now? There's one person.
Well, it's the doctor, right? The doctor's going down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so that's 5.
All right,
Yes.
T'Pral is going down.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. That's what I needed.
Yes, between the red shirts.
Yes, I have one in front of me, one behind me.
All right, so you are beaming down. Who is? Where are you going?
I think we're following the security officer.
I'm sorry, you're going where?
Infirmary,
Okay.
right? We'll meet him outside the
Oh
infirmary
yeah,
door.
not to the infirmary, but we'll meet you guys outside the infirmary.
Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds right.
All right, let me bring this up. Hold on.
Were the graphics of the ship and the map of the station and all that provided in the module?
There were some that were. The ones I'm using are actually the PDFs of the token product that they have that are actually kind of nice.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh, the map tiles that they have?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so the infirmary is through the doors to the north. Is that what we're thinking?
The infirmaries are actually to the door. There's a door to the south.
Oh, right. Okay.
Oh, didn't see it till just now.
Yeah, red shirts up front.
Yeah, Red's now. I'm going back.
I'm going to play
Who's-
red shirt number 1.
Who's in command here? Who's got the highest rank?
I'm lieutenant.
I guess I'd have to take command since this is a security situation.
I'm a lieutenant commander. Oh no, that's she's not on the ship. I'm a Lieutenant JG. Yeah, never mind.
All right, so while you guys are working through that, just one other rule set point. There are different scenes in Star Trek Adventures. So similar to the TV show, when it would move to a different scene, there's basically a resetting of the narrative. When that happens, you actually lose a momentum, and this is a new scene.
Oof. All right. I would suggest phasers on stun is what I was going to say. That's why I was asking who was in command, because if that person didn't say it, I was going to suggest it.
So something else to keep in mind with phasers on stun, that is the default setting. If you were to move them out of stun settings, each time you attack, you would generate one threat.
Okay. So but the default is stun. Okay, good.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, I would say to answer the question, I agree that the security officer is the officer in charge here.
Yep. And basically, we're going to set the phasers to heavy stun, and that's because of what we dealt with last time.
So outside the door here, can we do a tricorder scan to get a better reading of or idea what's inside, or are we just going to kick the door in?
You can try.
Would that be reason and science, perhaps?
I would say either reason and science. Reason and science, because you're trying to get through the doors.
My two worst stats. Oh, good.
All right. Was that a check from Teprel for that?
Yes.
Okay. You do not sense anything behind the thick, heavy doors to the south leading to the infirmary.
I do believe these doors are too thick for the tricorder to read anything, sir.
All right. Red shirt 1 and 2, go ahead, flank the door.
I'm already there.
Just so everybody knows.
I don't want to know your names even. You're just red shirt 1 and 2.
Just so everybody knows.
No attachments. No attachments.
I'm going to play Red Shirt 1 like one of the Monarch's henchmen from the Venture Brothers.
All right. Is there a control panel that opens this door?
There is.
I push it. And yeah.
You die.
All right. The doors open and you see an infirmary. Let me open this up. The infirmary is cramped and dimly lit. You see mutilated Klingon corpses occupying 4 biobeds in the main examination room, along with 4 dead parasites. These parasitic beings appear different, larger than the one encountered on the Alcubierre. The station surgeon is slumped on the floor, stabbed in the back with a Doctog dagger.
None of the people in here are alive.
No.
But we had life signs from this area.
Are any of the parasites alive?
Nope.
Tricorder.
You gonna do a scan of the bodies?
Well, my interest is, where is the life sign?
It was in this general area, but wherever it is, it's apparently on the move and not in the sick bay at the moment.
Oh, that's no good
Nora,
at all.
can you
That's no
access
good.
the medical logs?
I'm sorry?
I was asking Henor if she could access the medical logs.
There are computer terminals that conceivably could be accessed.
I would actually like to go down here and look at it, see if I can figure out what they were trying to do with these experiments.
Okay, you're able to actually access the system fairly easily without a check. However, you see that there are ship's doctor logs, but they are encrypted.
Oh, that's definitely not my forte.
And in Klingon, probably.
I would actually like to do something, if I may. Since I have a thing for murder mysteries, and we have a dead Klingon here with a dagger in the back, I would like to use my tricorder to see if the DNA on the dagger matches the now still alive Klingon in my sickbay.
Sure, go ahead and make a check.
That would be reason, medicine, and focus. I take it, since I
Yeah.
have murder mysteries.
Yep. Okay. Actually, it's not now that you have the signature, it's pretty clear that these bodies were infected with the parasites as well. And again, they appear to have self-mutilated, attempting to extract them.
Yeah, but I'm testing to see if the DNA on the handle of the attack matches my patient.
Oh, it does not.
Okay, thank you.
So just to be clear, all these bodies in here, they have the wounds in the back of the neck where they ripped out the parasite.
Appears to be.
Okay.
And you have a decrypted medical officer's log, or an encrypted medical officer's log. You would need to decrypt it to determine what it says.
All right. Who has computers?
So it would be a reason and security check, and you can be assisted by the ship's computer now with security and communications.
I've got a 14 total for reason and security.
Mine's 11.
Me too. Can I make an assist roll then? If he makes the main roll.
Yeah, I'll allow one assist.
Okay, so here goes the check. Kalis, we are in your presence. Aw, yeah.
It's pretty
Look at
good. Dang.
Okay, so to prowl, when you assist, it would just be the one die, so you'd have to manually roll those. But we'll take the first one, which was a critical success, so that's still 2 additional successes. This was a difficulty of 3, so you've decrypted it and gained 1 momentum. Actually, you still have the ship's computer, so it's possible you've got. Go ahead and make the ship's computer check.
That was
Oh, okay, got
the
it.
computers and what?
Security and communication.
Security and communication.
Okay, so 1 more success. So you've got 3 momentum right now. All right. So you're able to decrypt the file, and with your Starfleet training, you know enough Klingon to be able to translate. And it says the Kortar project has been an abysmal failure. Besides myself and a few notable exceptions, the Klingons are proving to be an incompatible species for integration. So sorry, it wasn't in Klingon. I have not been able to overcome their propensity to regress into primitivism. I recommend we abandon the project. For now, our plans will have to progress without, and then the message abruptly ends.
Well, we still have a life sign to find.
Yeah, can we ask the... Oh yeah, the ship can't scan the station. Damn.
Yeah.
Why would it be easy? I guess... Not fan out. That's probably...
Well, we know that they that since they regress when the parasites are added, either these guys are going to be hostile or they're going to be clean, and they work to excise the parasites themselves.
Yeah.
I
If it's
believe they will be
Klingons,
very primitive and extremely hostile.
So we should be able to tell who's infected just by looking at them and observing behavior.
Maybe.
Maybe. At least the
I say,
Klingons.
I say we find the subject. And I look at our security officer.
knew that was coming. So red shirt 1 and 2 in the lead.
What are you guys doing?
We're gonna start.
Sweeping this.
Yeah, sweeping. How many
Sweep the
rooms are
station.
on the station? How many? How big is the? In other words, how much ground do we have to cover here?
It's a decent sized station. So it would be a little bit of ground to cover, but for game purposes, there's not a lot of room.
Okay, so yeah, we'll just start looking.
So, as I'm assuming the away team is reporting back to the ship, the commander asks which would be more reasonable to do this plan or to think about where a device might be on the station that is blocking the ship's ability to scan. I'm not suggesting one is better than the other, but I'd like for us to think about those two options at least.
Also, I think we need to check for like records on the bridge or trying to find out what else happened here. Security logs or captain's logs. So
Yep, I would definitely concur with those opinions. We may also want to sit there and check the weapons locker and secure that, so maybe some of that doesn't get turned on us. Although most likely they're probably going to be armed with what, batlets maybe. I mean, it's what we wound up having to break down to physical combat with the last batch of these things that we encountered.
Would we be aware if there are any other quote unquote normal exits from the infirmary, like other than the doors? Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Well, my thought process is we knew, or we thought we knew, that there were life signs in there. We opened the door, there's no life signs. So whatever was in there got away. So obviously it wasn't a humanoid that would just walk past us. It was either some other type of being that either has invisibility or squeezed into a Jeffries tube or down a vent or something. That's my train of thought anyway. And we can't track it with a tricorder apparently, so we don't really know. My assumption is it's not a humanoid. It's some other thing we don't know about.
Oh, we could hit the security station. That should probably have better resolution on the sensors, so to speak, and may let us try and fine tune what we're looking for.
Yeah, we can go back there and then just kind of keep a lookout on our way. Yeah, good. I like that.
Commander likes that.
So I'm sorry. What's the final decision?
Make our way to the security area, keeping our eyes open along the way.
Okay, you're able to do that. Go ahead and make a security scan.
All right, and how would we? What way would we want to go for that? Control security
Controlling
or
security. Yep.
all right, and I guess I'll go for the focus of internal security again. Pray I don't fail.
Okay, you succeed. You do not see any obvious threats on your way to your destination. Let me bring that up. So you enter into this security area command level. This functions as the operations center for the station. In size and design, it resembles the bridge of a late 23rd century bird of prey. There are 4 support struts angling into the red lit room from its circular edges. There's an elevated command chair and console sitting opposite a hexagonal view screen. There's a recessed crescent in front of the command chair holding several operational consoles, and on either side, 2 rotating gunner consoles on the station's disruptor turrets.
Nice. I go check out the gunnery station and see if they've been used. I'm looking for like weapons logs.
And I will start working on the internal security sensors.
And I will look for the medical station if they have one.
All right. So first, you're going to see what you can determine from the ship's logs. Was that right?
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and make a reason and con check. Difficulty 2.
You know, somebody else better do that. I'm a red shirt.
I've got a
and I don't
15.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, do that.
Okay, that is a success. You're able to see from the logs that there was a Tellerate freighter docked here. And the manifests show that it was making runs between the station and the Cordelon system. If you care to, you could spend additional momentum to obtain more information.
Let's spend at least one more.
Yeah, I think at least one.
Security footage embedded within the system shows, with regard to the docking port, 2 Klingons entering the Tellerite freighter. When they exit an hour later,
Cheer
you
bits.
see
Cheer
a
bits
brief
in the
glimpse
stream.
of a
Thanks for the cheer
Romulan
bits.
inside the ship.
What the crap?
Wow.
What do we know about the Cordelon system? I mean, is that raise any red flags?
Panic SP.
It does
thank
not.
You for the, thank you for the bit, sir. That's very generous. Thank you so much.
Wasn't it the Romulans that was involved in the
Last,
first incident?
In
They
the
were.
previous incident, yes.
So there may be a connection there.
Yeah, that Romulan doesn't look familiar from any of the ones we were dealing with.
Now, did somebody also say that they were checking out the command station?
I was checking out the medical station if they have one.
Yeah, that's where the station commander would sit. You can attempt to access the commander logs there. It would be a control and security task.
Oh, all right.
Difficulty 2.
I guess I'll do that as well, since it's the same.
What do you have?
I'm sorry. Control and security. Okay, no, that's a whole different thing. So mine's 11 there, so I might not be the best person.
I have 12. But you can assist me, so...
Yes, I will assist you since I just did a check a moment ago. I will think that I can help you.
Okay, right now that's 1 success. What's your target number?
12.
Hanor's is 12.
Oh, mine. What was it? Control and.
Security.
Security.
So mine is it's 11. Damn it.
Okay.
What we do is we roll a d20, and that's a 14. Is really a 1, a 4, which adds to 5, and that's how that works.
All right, you're not able to get any additional information from the command chair?
Right.
So the commander on the ship has trying to find where that was, has the either advisor talent. That, and I'm looking that up. It says advisor, whenever you assist another character using your command discipline, the character being assisted may re-roll 1d20. Is that possible long range? Or
yeah, you could have assisted them with the ship's computer, sure.
So I could have, do you mean instead of the person who did, or?
I'll give you an attempt to assist them and use that talent from the ship.
Fantastic. So it says whenever you assist another character using your command discipline. And so what do I roll? Just command or something else in addition?
Well, this
That's
would
only a
not
5.
be. Yeah, this would not be a command check, but I'll still say you could have made a check from the ship, so it would be control and security.
We're getting instructions because we're so bad.
No, I just wanted to roll the dice at least once tonight. So how do I roll from my character sheet?
So we said control and security. So you're going to click the blue.
The attributes under.
Yep, for
Well,
control.
I do
and
that,
then
and I get a red dot, but it immediately goes away. So I'm not sure.
So, which character are you? You are Leanne or Linares?
Linares.
All right. So if you clicked control, the blue die by control, and the blue die by, what did we say? Control and security?
Security.
Yeah. The control and security, that should bring above that the TR to an 11.
Oh, it does. Yes. Okay.
And then to the right, if you go all the way to the right, there is a blue die. If you click that, it will roll it.
There we go. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Oh, you've decided to do my tactic, which is to.
I am horrible at commanding. Why did you put me in command?
It's all right.
Anybody have any talents that might have played in here?
No.
Okay. So right now, the only information you have is that the ship that was previously stationed here with the Klingons and the Romulan would routinely make transport from this station to the Cordelon system.
How about can I talk to the science officer on the Magellan and have him scan for the ship? Can we find the ship?
Sure,
And,
you can.
track it down.
You can see if you can find any warp signatures that you were looking for. That would be reason and
Science? Or
I think more engineering.
Oh, do you want to talk about stress for a second?
Stress is basically hit points. When you get into battle, that's what'll come into play.
Okay, because I've got 3 knocked on, checked out on me right now.
Tick those off. They shouldn't be on there. Okay.
so I get 2 successes.
All right, 2 successes. You are finally able to access the ship logs from the commander, and this is what you observe.
Oh,
So
snap.
this is the commander's station logs. This is Betrell, son of Maketh, commander of the Kotar. Star dates have no meaning here. In my 7th year of banishment to this forsaken station for my father's dishonor, the filthy Tellarite sickness continues to spread. 5 of my best warriors are now quarantined in the infirmary. Their fate is unknown. But I have instructed Tapah the Halqual that failure is unacceptable. This is no kind of death for a warrior, even one in this accursed place. And then the next entry. This is Betrell, son of Maketh, commander of the Kotar. The Tellarate is long gone, but our warriors remain locked in the infirmary. Tapah claims he is doing all he can, but there is something strange about him. He has not been himself since the plague began. I must see for myself. I'm going now to the infirmary to confront him.
That probably turned out to be a bad idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so is the doctor the Klingon with the knife in his back? Or is this guy the Klingon with the knife in his back?
That commander log was not the doctor. That was the commander of the station.
Right. So is the doctor or the commander the one that's dead in the infirmary? You know what I mean?
It is probably the commander from the insignia of the body. There's so much blood and gore that it's difficult to tell, but that was one of the dead bodies is probably the commander.
So the doctor might be the one that's loose.
Yeah.
I still say we need to sweep this and find out. We need to find that life sign. Basically.
And the Tellarite ship was already gone, so yeah, they have to be here.
I want to be sensitive to time because I know some people have a game that starts at 10. Really, there's no more to be learned here. The life signs that you had previously identified, it was either a ghost in the system or something that you're not able to track at this point. So at this point, your only information you have concerns the Cordelon system.
So let's go there.
Okay, and you are able to access the ship's computers and obtain some information about the system. Let's find that. And the ship's records show a Klingon outpost on the 6th moon of Cordelon 4, a gas giant. The Klingons mined the frozen moon for diamagnetic ore until abandoning the operation during the economic disarray that followed the destruction of Praxis over 70 years ago. Diamagnetic ore produces a disruptive field akin to atmospheric electric storms. It scrambles sensor readings and communications. As such, it makes this forgotten and out-of-the-way location a suitable place for those who wish to operate in secret.
To the Cordelon system.
Yes. Do we beam back to the ship first?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you guys beam back.
Nice. Wait for us.
I'll insist on all of us going into quarantine and being very thoroughly checked. I don't care. Our eyes were off each other for seconds. No chances.
Okay, you guys do run your sweeps, and there's no indication that anybody has been infected at this point.
If I can keep that Klingon alive, I'm pretty sure I will notice any viral infections.
Yep, and you don't identify any yet. You can do a quick check. We're switching scenes, so you're going to lose 1 momentum. But you can do a reason and science check now just to see what additional information you obtain about the system.
While
would
that's
be-
going on, Red Shirt 1 congratulates Red Shirt 2 for surviving.
Yeah,
And we're going to 10 forward
double fist bump.
or whatever, wherever that is on the Magellan.
I pat Red Shirt 1 on the shoulder and said, Junior 1 will be proud of you.
All right, go ahead. Make a sensors and science check.
On the ship.
So go ahead and let Linares make the ship check, and then whoever the science officer is can make the sensor and science check.
Okay.
So Linares, you can take that ship entry that I had shared earlier and do the check there.
All right. And so what am I using for that?
Sensors and science.
For the player, do you want control and science?
Reason and science.
Okay. Oh my god.
Woo! And here comes the ship.
Okay, so that's one success. This was actually difficulty 0, so there was just an opportunity to either generate threat or momentum, and you did both. But you learn that the Cordelon system contains 12 planetary bodies. The 5 outer planets are frigid, Class K worlds with methane and nitrogen atmospheres. These are followed by 4 ringed Class J gas giants. The 3 remaining inner planets are Class H worlds with temperatures hostile to humanoid life. The gas giant Cordelon 4 contains 24 rocky and frozen moons. The mining outpost is on its 6th moon.
That's where we're heading, right?
Yep.
I want to do a scan and see if we can detect the ship that we saw on the security footage.
Okay.
Can we do that?
There is an unusually large amount of disruption coming from the moon's cache of diamagnetic ore. So that's just a location trait of this area. And because of these intense effects, it's going to be a harder check. So this will be a sensor and science check on the ship and a reason and science check from the character.
What's the difficulty?
2.
Okay.
Normally, sensor sweeps like this are difficulty 0. It's just an opportunity to generate momentum, but this is a difficulty 2 because of the ore.
Okay.
Okay, success, and then
Somebody else want to do the ship?
Yeah, Linares, you can go ahead and do that ship check.
All right.
Hey.
All right, that's one more success, which gives you one more momentum. Now this diamagnetic ore is going to be a problem for you throughout this scene. Any sensor scan is going to be an increased difficulty because of the ore. But with that scan, you learn the following. The outpost's antimatter reactor is operational. Sensors indicate multiple life signs. Because of the interference, though, scans are having difficulty providing additional details about the life signs. You don't know what race or anything like that, and you can't pinpoint exactly where they are. You can, if you care to, spend up to 2 momentum.
I'd say we spend at least 1.
Yeah, I think let's start with that.
Totally.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay. One of the things you learn is that while the interference is naturally occurring, it's very clear that it has been artificially amplified beyond its normal effect. So somebody is clearly amplifying it.
Should we spend the second?
I think so. That might help tell us where
Yeah.
that's coming from.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay, so spending the momentum, you're able to tweak the settings on your scan, and that gives you some additional information that you didn't have previously. And you learned that, in fact, there are multiple Romulans, at least one Klingon life form, and a Trill currently on the outpost. There are other unidentifiable life forms, but those are the ones you were able to pinpoint.
I was gonna say, is there a way for us to scan for the parasite? Can we
That's as
tell from
detailed as
here?
you can get right now.
Okay. I mean, the parasite has to be here, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's what's going on.
Nuke it from orbit. It's the only way we can be sure.
Totally. Arm photons.
Oh no,
It
photons.
wouldn't be the most illogical thing, actually. But maybe we should hail them.
Ooh, I didn't even think of that.
Well, I mean, it's not like they don't know we're here. You might be right.
We are, after all, on a mission of mercy. It's a medical, emergency, so to speak, and we are here to help.
We're from the government, and we're here to help you.
That's not a
Really?
joke where I come from. Just saying.
Where do you live?
All right, so what do you want to do?
Where do you live? That's funny.
It sounds like you have three options. You can beam down, you can take a shuttle down, or you can open hailing frequencies.
Let's hail them. I don't think it's a secret that we're here.
Right. My thought exactly.
Yeah.
So who does that? Con?
Is it Con?
Come!
um. It doesn't seem that Khan has any special communication stuff. But what's the check gonna be?
It will be a reason and con check.
So 14, I can do it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hailing it. Yeah.
Ooh.
Of course. I think I just got sparked.
So you make an attempt to hail them, and with the interference, you're not able to establish a connection, or at least you didn't appear to establish a connection.
Now, is this something that I can simply just try again?
I'm going to say no.
Okay. Yeah, that wouldn't make sense.
What, the 6 backup didn't kick in?
All right. Unable to reach the ship, Captain.
All right. Do you think shuttle is a better option than trying to transporters under these circumstances?
Yes.
Indeed, since they're trying to jam us, so
Exactly.
yes.
All right. I think we need another away mission.
Might I suggest a couple of red shirts I made? They're actually competent.
Yeah, they survived the first away mission, so they have proven themselves.
All right, so you're going to take a shuttle down first. Somebody, you can decide on the away team once we figure out if you're able to get there in one piece. So, somebody.
So what you're
needs
saying
to
is
plot
when the shuttle
course.
blows up, we can decide who was on it. Is that what you're saying?
Who died?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Oh my god.
What do you need? Do you need more scans, sensor readings?
Somebody has to plot the course, which is a reasoning con task, and it's assisted by the shuttle's computers and con. You don't have the shuttle, so let me hold on. Let me find it. I don't have that coded, but I do have shuttlecraft stats.
So, con officer should do the roll.
That's Leanne, isn't it?
Okay, and what is the role for this one?
The con officer will do a reason and con check, and then let's say that the first officer Linares will do the computers and con from the shuttlecraft.
And I have.
And you'll have
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
the shuttlecraft roll will just be a straight D20, and the com and what did I say? Com and con.
Common con, yeah.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be a total of 8.
So just 1d20 for the okay, and then do I get any benefit from having shuttlecraft as a focus?
You do, so you get to use your focus when you roll, which would increase your crit range.
Okay, but I'm just rolling 1d20.
Yes.
And what's
no,
the
well, hold on,
okay.
hold on. The con officer is rolling from his character sheet with
Okay.
reason and con. The captain is rolling the D20 against the ships, the shuttles, computers, and con.
Right. Okay. Look at that shit. Finally,
Yeah,
I
that
do
focus
something
helps
worth
you.
something.
And the captain helps as well, so that's
Yes.
a total of 4 successes.
Woohoo!
So that gets you 2 momentum.
Nice.
I have to turn to the crew and go, see, I know what I'm doing sometimes.
You actually did so well that you're able to find some path through the field where there's a little less diamagnetic resistance. If you care to spend 2 momentum, you can decrease the difficulty of the piloting check that comes next.
I think perhaps that's a good idea.
That's not a bad idea. Yes, I like it.
I will say that the difficulty actually isn't that bad. It's a difficulty 2 check. It's controlling con assisted by the shuttle's engine and con.
Just spend 1.
Okay, because I'm going to have a 15 on control and con.
What could possibly
And
go
you'd have
wrong?
to spend 2 momentum if you did it.
Do we want to do that, everybody, or?
To be
If you have
clear,
15,
you
I
don't
think
have to
it's
spend.
necessary.
To be clear, you don't have to spend momentum at all. If you do, you have to spend 2.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I don't think so. Not with 15.
Yeah. And a focus.
Yeah, just roll it
Yeah,
Okay.
just
All
roll it.
right, here we go.
like Rough Riders. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And
There we go.
Still have the ship check.
Yes.
And
all right.
that is a success as well. So you get 2 more momentum. Oops. You've got 5 momentum total right now.
Nice.
You're able to pilot the shuttle, and the shuttle lands near the outpost closed hangar doors. You will unfortunately need EV suits to get out.
5 of them.
Can we
Well, there you go.
transport from the shuttle?
Oh yeah, can we just transport from the shuttle to the docking bay?
To do so, though, you're going to have to adjust the diamagnetic field. So you'd have to adjust for the interference to the sensor lock. This would be a pretty bold maneuver, so it would be daring or control plus engineering for the character. There is no shuttle assistance on this one.
And we're here.
Yeah, you're on the planet now. The issue is you either have to beam into the facility or use EV suits to walk through. And
I
get
say
through
we
the-
spend all the momentum and just make sure we get safely inside. Besides, EV suits are useful in case they're parasites, so it's a double whammy.
Right, I concur.
So we're gonna do EV suits.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess we just spend all of it.
Yeah.
I'm staying on the science officer. I'm not taking a red shirt, by the way.
Yeah, and I'm taking Zhang as well.
Wait. You sure you guys don't want the premium red shirt 1 or 2?
I know. They probably shoot better, but
no, they deserve to live.
They die better too.
All right, let me clear off the tracker, and then you can tell me who is going to be here. Is Quellis here?
Yes.
Hanner? Hanner Dell. Is Hanner Dell going to be on?
I'm sorry. No.
Linares.
Yeah, I think so.
Leanne.
Yes.
Nathania.
Yes.
Red shirt 1.
I don't know. I played red shirt 1, but I'm
I
taking
think none of the
Linares.
red shirts. Yeah.
Yeah, no red shirts.
But yeah, there's your crew.
Okay.
The original crew, I believe.
All right.
Yeah,
that would have been an easier way to do it. Okay.
Oh.
All right. So you're going to go through the planetary atmosphere, through the hangar doors into the facility, the mining outpost?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Given that you all have EV suits, you're able to transfer from the shuttle area to the hangar. Once you are through the airlock, you can hear the atmosphere sort of readjust itself. So if you care to, you can take the suits off. But you are inside the outpost now and can perform a scan for life signs with your tricorder. It's an insight and science check.
I would not recommend taking these suits off in case there are parasites.
Yeah.
But I would. But I'm gonna roll for that that insight and science.
Can I as well?
Oh,
Sure, you can.
Oops.
Oh,
Okay. With the 2 successes, your tricorder is picking up life signs in the lower levels of the outpost. It's unable to distinguish life forms from each other. A schematic of the facility's ground level displays a turbo lift approximately 20 meters from your current position. You can spend momentum if you want.
No, we can't.
No.
Oh, you could spend threat if you want.
No.
Yeah. Oh. For more information?
Yep.
1.
So I have a thing where it's called Studious, and it says whenever you spend 1 or more momentum to obtain information, you may ask 1 additional question.
Yep. So you would get 2 questions.
So I can get 2 questions, so I'm going to do that. So I'll give you 1 threat.
Okay. You discover that the source of the diamagnetic field's artificial amplification is a device in the reactor room. And you are able to identify the location of the reactor room. It's on this level. And yeah, at this point, you can either explore this level where the amplification is, or take the turbo lift, which would take you down a lower level.
Ooh, what do you guys think? I think we should take out that amplification thingy
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
since we're here.
Agreed.
Okay. So besides the hangar and airlock,
Just
ahead.
as kind of a thought on this, is this in Klingon space?
The Klingons are stationed here. I don't know if the Klingon Empire has taken control of this, which quadrant we're in. I
Didn't they give
believe
us
it is
permission
Klingon
to be
space.
here?
This is a mining outpost with trade rights for all of the nations. So it wouldn't necessarily trigger an.
Well, since we may have to be beamed out by red shirts, I say we've removed that hindrance.
Yeah. So
Very
besides,
good logic.
Should have put the red shirts down here with me.
So besides
know.
this, besides the hangar and airlock, this level contains the empty quarters where the outpost guards and commander used to live. You also find communications and sensor stations, a mess hall, kitchen and antimatter reactor, and except for the reactor room, this level appears abandoned and in disrepair. The reactor, however, has been restored and recently maintained. There is a device connected to the reactor that is amplifying the natural disruptive field of the diamagnetic core. If you want to try and disable it, it would be reason and engineering with a difficulty 3.
Well, that's the engineer that needs to fix that.
And we have no engineer.
And we have no engineer.
Damn it.
The
Did you say
command
reason and engineering?
See, a red shirt could have just walked up to it and died on it and would have taken care of it.
I have 13 in that.
And the engineer can't beam down.
I would allow it.
All right, let's call up and say, hey, we need Dell down here.
You know, we probably would have brought some pattern
No,
pattern
we don't.
enhancers to like drop down. You know, for a faster exit
Right,
for us in case
right.
we need it. Seems like that's plausible, right? From the
But wouldn't that
shuttle
wouldn't that
ground.
have costed extra momentum?
Yeah, that would
for-
take momentum.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Or threat. You can spend threat.
Well, why don't we just beam Dell down?
Okay, so you're going to hail the ship and have him
Yep,
beam
and ask for
down?
Dell to be beamed to these coordinates.
Yeah.
We'll risk
Yeah.
Dell. It's not us.
Risk engineer.
All right, so Dell comes down.
Okay. So, what do you need me to do, everybody?
Turn this thing off.
All right, I'm going to turn the thing off.
All right, reason and engineering, difficulty
Okay.
3.
Reason and engineering is going to give me a 16. If I blow this,
It can happen.
Do you have any focuses?
I got
Oh
3
wow, that
successes is
was
what I
almost
have.
skinned by the teeth, right?
It was actually a failure. This was a difficulty 3.
Can I try to assist with my?
Yes, you can.
I've
Reason and
reasonable-
engineering, single D20.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Oh, no.
Oh,
Roll a single D20. What's your target?
I thought it was a normal roll. My target is doesn't matter. I don't roll any successes.
No, just take a D20 and roll it, and then just tell me what your
Okay.
target is.
I'll just roll 1 then, because that's I have 13.
Oh, I'm an idiot. I didn't realize the character sheet would let you change the number of D20s that you rolled. So that's what you
Yeah.
did. Okay.
Yeah.
So that works, and that's a success. And You're able to shut down the device. So you find that the interference is now back to normal, negligible levels. Um, so it's not going to be as difficult to use the um, transporters and tractor beams. It's easier to get locks now.
I guess we have to go
Dell
to the
says,
lower level.
"You're telling me this now?" After I already beamed down.
Well, now you can beam safely back up.
Yeah. He's got the attitude of Dr. McCoy in the first movie. I never trusted those damn things.
Well, let's proceed
all
to
right.
the lower
What's the next order of business?
Are we going back to the lift and going down to check out these life signs?
Yeah. I think so.
Yes.
I kind of would like to go back some older Trek lore and like maybe get some
Some what?
Said some Marines.
Oh.
So you're gonna take the turbo lift down?
Yeah.
Yep.
I have my phaser out, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, totally.
So you take the turbo lift down, and you eventually come to more mining tunnels with various corridors. So the corridors turn into rough-hewn tunnels that snake deeper underground. You see stalagmites rising upward from the floor of the passage. You see a number of Romulans and a Klingon in front of you, and you can hear basically the Klingon howling and voices echoing up from the chamber ahead of you. So you can hear it and sort of see them in the winding passage. And you can hear the Romulans say, "It survived longer than the other test subjects.
What in the hell?
We could have studied it further." And then one of the Klingons, not the one that was howling, says, "It was just a thoughtless beast." And then the Romulan says, "Control that Klingon temperament, or we will get you a more suitable host. You have forgotten the art of patience in that body. The test subject did quite a lot of damage before we were able to restrain him. That showed promise." And as you're listening, behind you, you hear somebody say, "That's far enough." And behind you, somebody in a darkened passage that you're only now aware of is pointing at you with a disruptor. As he steps into the main tunnel, you realize that he's a Trill.
I will say, let's see, who's a Trill here? The engineer's a Trill, Dell. So I will say, hello, brother. We're a bit lost here. We're looking for engineering section. We were summoned here by distress call, and then I'll just make eyes at all the whole rest of the party.
So I'm sorry, you're telling him what?
A lie. It's a total lie. I'm saying we're a little lost here. We were summoned here by a distress call. We're supposed to go to the command center.
All right, let me think this through.
Funny because we all have guns in our hands.
No, we're fine here. Everything is fine. It's okay. It's okay. Calm down.
I mean, we're caught with our pants down, right? But yeah, we do have environmental suits on, which indicates. I mean, at least it makes sense that we would have come in from outside and been looking for survivor. You know, we didn't know the distress call that I made up what it was about.
All
think we
right.
should-
So the Trill looks at you and says, "Do you think me a fool?" And he points the
shoot
gun
him.
at you and says, "He says,
No, I mean is I shoot him.
Yeah, totally.
Hesitation is bad. I'm gonna use my determination. I'm gonna stun that Trill. He is a threat. It's
Okay.
the only logical thing to do.
okay, give me a moment. Let me put all of this in."
I'm gonna shoot first.
All right, Han.
Han
And
shot
when-
first.
yeah, when he does that, we all need to turn and face the other way because they're going to be coming.
So who's shooting?
Doctor.
The doctor's shooting.
The doctor's going to take a man down first, but it's a stun, of course.
It's
a
the
stun.
logical thing to do. No. I don't
Remember.
like hesitation, and I don't think that guy is
Hey.
that stupid.
This is a Vulcan doctor who is going to shoot first.
Well, if you guys remember Spock in the Spock wasn't the Doctor. Never mind.
No,
Spock
This
was
guy's
down to
not
kill everybody.
stupid. This guy's not stupid. So let's take the initiative.
No, I agree.
Okay.
It's a good
Yeah.
call.
All right. So, here is everything.
I knew
you
that.
see.
I know my crewmates. I was just distracting the guy so someone else would shoot him.
There you go.
Oh, holy hell.
All right, we are in combat. The way combat works is we basically alternate initiative. You're going first, obviously, and then I would go, and then you would go, and so on and so forth. You can spend momentum to seize the momentum. And basically go back to back, but you can only do that one time before I have to go next. So that's where we are. Who said that they were shooting?
Me, the doctor.
The doctor.
I'm using my value. Hesitation is bad.
Okay.
So that costs my determination, right?
It does.
Yes.
Hold on. Do you guys have the combat cheat sheet up?
Can.
Combat.
I might be able
Conflict
to-
preference.
Conflict.
Yes.
There it is. Yes.
I might be able to find. Oh, good.
Patrol
So you
pursuit.
get a combat task and you get a minor action. And to the right, the third column, if you're using a melee, that's the check you make. If you're using a range, that's the check you make. And that's basically how we're going to handle combat. There are different things that you can spend momentum on in combat. So you're going to want to know those as well. So that is this sheet. So those are different things that you can spend momentum on, including, as I just mentioned, keeping the initiative. So those are the references that probably are going to be the most helpful for you with this. That being said, the good doctor can decide how he's going to attack. The Trill is Tal Durin. Behind you, in front
That's
of
the
you,
one.
are the Romulans and the Klingon. The Klingon in the cell in the upper right that I'm rotating is dead. There are 4 human prisoners in the cell behind the live Klingon, and you've got a row of 3 live Romulans. The zones, the way combat works is if you are in the same zone, you are in close range. If you wanted to go melee to somebody, you'd have to move and basically touch them, but you'd have to do that in the same row or in the same zone. If you wanted to move into the next zone, you could do that, but that would be your movement. If you wanted to go more than that, you would have to do a sprint, which is your task. So you get 1 move at minor action, which is basically the move action, and 1 combat task.
I have one question.
Sure.
Since I have defensive tactics, and I do believe I'm defending these people, I get to use my focus, I guess.
Yes.
Yes, so I'll roll for this. I'm shooting him. And I'll have 2 extra successes due to my value.
So
Well, it's
you're
a good
using
thing.
your determination.
I thought you already
Yes,
used
yes.
determination.
Yeah, but I haven't rolled yet. So I would have 4 successes basically, right?
Yes. So that is a success, and that generates 2 momentum. And the complication, you've got a complication. That weapon that you just fired is now overheated. So you
Okay.
can't use that weapon next round.
Okay, so that means, so I guess I hit then, since it's the difficulty is 2.
Yep, you did.
So
Um,
I roll normal damage or what on my phaser type 1?
Yep. So you drag the number underneath the Starfleet icon and roll it in the chat window, and that will be
I
your
only think
damage.
it works by double clicking actually.
Yeah,
Okay.
it doesn't work if you drag it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Ooh.
All right. So that does a total of 5 damage with 2 effects. That's actually good. So
Yes.
you triggered 2 effects. You have basically the charge effect. Let me bring up the effect cheat sheet as well. Give me 1 second. Oh, that one doesn't help with this one. That's just the ship, the different types. Where is that? Sorry, I'm just looking for the descriptions of the effects. Why is it not on there?
Don't think it's in there. Oh wait, charge.
Yeah, the
has
weapon has an
adaptable
adaptable energy supply, allowing its potency to be changed to different levels.
area intense, piercing, or vicious. Not that I know what that is, but whatever does most damage but doesn't kill him, I'll go for that.
All right, so Vicious 1 would apply additional damage for each effect rolled. So you can do 2 additional damage. That would do a
7.
total then of 7 damage.
I'm down with that.
And you were firing at the Trill?
Yes. That means I have a minor action which I'll be used to like move sort of into cover while I fiddle with my heating phasers. Like, damn it.
Okay, you can move into cover. That's fine.
And that's me done.
Okay. You do a total of 7 damage. This scientist has no armor and no resistance. You quickly drop the Trill. She is stunned.
Is this like Conan, where if you do 5 damage in one shot, it does
Injuries.
Yes.
Yes.
Injury? Yeah. Okay.
Yes. All right. So T'Prel, you went. That was T'Prel, right?
Yes.
All right. The Klingons, having seen the fire
Uh-oh.
now out in the open, I'm sorry. The Klingon is going to go first because he's the most bloodthirsty. So the Klingon is going to fire at Trill. I'm sorry, T'Prel. So let me get to the Klingon. And he's going to spend some threat. He's actually going to spend 6 threat to get 3 extra dies.
Oh.
What? Medic? Oh, I mean,
You are the medic.
Actually,
just
I
quick
was
question.
adding the
Does that environmental
That
suit
lowers
give me
his threat.
any resistance?
What was that?
Does the environmental suit give me any resistance?
It does not.
I'm dead.
What's the maximum threat a GM can spend? All of it?
I don't know. I know I can spend 6 to buy 3 dies. I'm not sure if I could have spent an additional 6 to do, say, an escalation.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just going to spend the 6. So that is going to be his control and security check.
Oh,
Now,
he
keep
doesn't-
in mind, this just increases his chance of hitting. It doesn't necessarily increase the damage.
Right. Does he doesn't do a weapons check like we do?
Oh yes, it does.
Well, he just
Yeah.
said control and security.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when you do a range.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The thing down by the weapons, that's the damage. My bad. I
Yeah,
forgot.
yeah.
Okay. So is control and security always what you fire for weapons?
Yes. For ranged weapons, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Melee is different.
So here he's rolling 5d20. Oh
Yep.
dear.
Yep. So here comes.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear.
It's only 4 successes.
Only
Uh,
4.
Jesus.
Oh my.
Not a big deal.
All right. So that's 2 threat that's gained. And now he'll roll his damage.
Betach. Well, he said he was bloodthirsty. I'm not disagreeing with that at all.
All right. So he only did a total of 3 damage with 2 effects with his disruptor pistol, but vicious 1. So it'll do 2 additional damage. So a total of 5 damage against T'Prel. T'Prel, you don't have any resistances, so
So
you
I'd
take the
take
5 damage.
5.
Yep. So you've got 6 stress left.
Um,
But you have an
isn't that-
injury.
Yeah, I get an injury, right?
Yep.
Oh dear.
So you are injured. Let me put that on T'Prel.
Does that mean incapacitated in this game?
That means he cannot act unless somebody heals him this scene.
Okay.
So
Well, I
somebody
did
would
my
have to
thing.
render first aid.
And he's the doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Other people can render first aid, but
Oh, okay. All right.
Yep. So the phaser fighting is ongoing. Who wants to go next on your side?
Security
I-
officer.
So
All right. I think I'll step up as a security officer and try and take out a Romulan.
Do we know by either appearance or intuitiveness or whatever, which are the Romulans weaker than the Klingon, or what that whole scenario is?
So let me take a look. The Klingon is. Hold on.
Oh no, we only have 10 minutes.
Yeah, the Klingon is probably the tougher of them.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
The two Romulans in front do not seem to be as seasoned.
Okay.
So who on your side's going next?
Quellis is just going to take out a Romulan so there's less people shooting at us.
Perfect.
Yep. So that's a control security, and I
With a
have a
range?
hand. Yep, and I have a hand phaser focus.
Okay, so you can use your focus. That is only one success. If you care to, normally you would have to declare ahead of time, but if you wanted to, you could spend 2 momentum. Or you could spend your determination and.
I used my determination at the beginning of the things. Shouldn't have any.
Okay. If you wanted to, I'd let you spend the 2 momentum to. I'm sorry, 1 momentum to roll an extra die.
But normally, you have to declare that in advance, you said?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yep. So I think I'm going to have to sit there and I'll just be honest. I didn't make it, and I'm not going to spend the determination next.
Okay. If you want to, you can spend 2 momentum to keep the initiative and attack again. Otherwise, it's my turn.
Do your worst.
Okay. One of the Romulan Ulans will attack next. Ulan 1 is going to attack. And he is going to attack. I'll just do this in order, going from left to right. Can't roll a die. Let's just see where it works out. All right, Leanne is attacking.
And Leanne shouts Ulan Rouge and spits in his face.
All right, that's a failure.
Yeah.
Who's up on your side?
I'd like to go.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to do first aid on to Pro.
Thank you.
Who is
Yeah,
this?
this is Nathania. Yeah, I want to run over and try and do first aid on to Pro. Which is control and medicine.
Yes, if you cared to, I'd let you do daring or medicine since it's in the middle of combat.
I prefer control.
Okay.
I'm okay. I don't have any focus. Can I spend one momentum? Anyone mind?
Do it.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'll roll 3 die.
Hmm?
All right.
Do you have like field medic or anything like that for a talent? Oh, you're not the medic, so I guess
I'm not the
wouldn't.
medic, no. I have biology, and I have
There's a medkit lying next to you, next to me. So,
And what does the med kit do on that?
Doesn't really say, just a lot of stuff that does things.
I'm trying to find what the first aid check is.
As a cost of opportunity 1 for non-medical personnel. So is that a momentum?
I'm sorry, what did you say it did?
A medkit has a cost of opportunity 1 for non-medical personnel.
No, I don't think that'll do anything.
So in the conflict actions, one of the actions is first aid.
Yep.
And it just says the character attempts to treat the injury of a character within reach.
Okay, so I think what that does then is it gets rid of the injury. He'll be able to act next round.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't give like what you roll or anything, so I don't know.
Yeah, just for speed's sake, because I'm not sure what the rule is, we'll just say that you're able to give him a stim patch, and he is able to get back into the fray.
Okay.
All right. That'll bring up Ulan 2.
I think I like Ulan Rouge better.
And do the combatants, do we all stay in the same order, barring anybody spending?
No.
It changes after each scene, right?
Each round it'll change. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
All right. So he fires with his disruptor pistol at. I'm going to say Linares.
Not me.
Okay, that's a failure as well. Starfleet's turn.
Okay, Del will go. Sorry, not Del, but Zhang. The Centurion has not gone yet. But she's 2 zones away, so how does that affect anything?
In terms of range, geez, I don't remember now.
I think it adds 1 to difficulty.
It adds 1 to the difficulty.
I think so.
Yeah, that would make sense. Okay, I'm not doing
let's do that.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot Ulan 2 then. And here we go.
Okay, that's a failure.
I have to get 2, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I guess I missed.
That was Leanne that went.
That was Del. I'm sorry. Yes, I have 2 characters. It was Leanne who went. Yes. And just so I understand the mechanics of the game, why would 2 people like Nathania and Ulan 2 both have a 5? Is that just you mistakenly put 5 twice, or is there a reason somebody would be tied like that? Oh, I got disconnected? What the fuck?
Shot.
So she shot her own person.
Oh, I'm back. I was disconnected from sound. I was asking a question and everybody was ignoring me. It's because I got disconnected. My question was, in the initiative order, is it just a mistake that you entered 5 twice, or is there a reason for ties?
No, that was a mistake.
So now there's 2 5s and 2 6s.
Yep. That's just me screwing it up.
Okay, I just want to understand the mechanics is all.
Yep. Nope. So the Klingon had moved forward and rolled a critical failure. So then I rolled again to see if she hit one of her allies, and she did.
Yes.
So she hits Ulan 1 and does a total of 4 damage with 1 effect. So Vicious 1, so it'll be 5 damage against Ulan 1. And Ulan 1 has quite a bit of stress, actually. But with that being 5 damage, is injured and is out of the fray. So she's unconscious. Ulan 1 is unconscious.
That ought to shake them up. Shooting
All
their own
right.
people. Nice.
All
I
right, your
didn't
turn.
know this game had a defector.
All right. Can I go? And then I got to bounce to my next thing. It's 10 right now.
Yep. Apologize for going a little long,
That's
but
okay.
this is the last the last fight.
Well, I have guerrilla tactics, and I have true liberation for all, and I got to liberate those humans if they're not already infected, of course. So,
Yep, you can use it.
all right. So I'm going to shoot. I guess from my perspective, I'm going to shoot this Centurion. Oh, can I shoot the Klingon? I'm going to shoot the Klingon.
Totally.
And can I use daring instead of something then just because I'm going to do something daring, or am I pushing it?
Depends on what you're doing. What are you just shooting at it?
Yeah, that's not very daring.
Yeah.
All right. What do I do for the shooting?
Control and security check.
Control, security, and that's only an 11. How do I activate the focus?
Click the box next to the top blue button that says focus used.
Ah, thank you. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and use this value, true liberation for all.
All right. So you're using your determination then?
Yes.
Okay. So that automatically gives you 2 successes. So just roll the 1 die and go ahead and roll.
Roll 1 die.
Yeah, when you use determination, I believe it just turns the 1. Well, I'm not sure on that. Never mind. Just roll the 2, and we'll factor in 2 additional successes.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. So you've got a total of 3 successes. So you generate 1 momentum, and you can roll your damage.
All right. Tell me how to do that. I saw people doing that, but
Whatever weapon you were using, if you scroll down to weapons underneath the Starfleet insignia, there's a number. Double click the box of the weapon that you're using.
That's the number of dice you'll roll.
okay. I thought I had double clicked it, but nothing happened.
There you go.
Oh, there it goes. There it goes.
All right, so you do a total of 4 damage with 2 effects. What was the weapon you were using?
Just a phaser type 2.
All right, so that does the charge, which we said gives you the option of
Vicious. And
okay, so
area.
that gives you vicious. So
Can
you
you
have
hit
2
too?
effects. So you do a total of 6 damage. This was against the Klingon?
Yes.
All right, so you do a total of 6 damage against the Klingon, which normally would be enough to incapacitate it. However, the Klingons have resistance from their armor.
Okay.
So instead of doing 6 damage, you only do 2 damage.
Whoa, what?
Wow. Okay. All right.
And
just
remember, the Parasites also sort of supercharge the
Yeah,
host
sure.
bodies.
Sure. Okay, I'm heading to my next thing,
Okay.
Have fun.
and keep me in mind. I enjoyed this. You've got my email,
Will do.
so hopefully we can do this again.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Have a good game in
Fantastic.
the next one.
Thank you very much.
All right, you guys have 2 momentum. You
Just
can
one
spend
thing.
that momentum. Go ahead.
If you, I think I'll have to go as well. I'm not feeling well, actually.
Oh no.
Understood.
So I've had a lot of fun,
Good.
but I'm gonna go too.
All right.
Thank you so much
All
for
right.
hosting this.
No,
and thanks for the
anytime.
fun.
And I know we're going long, so I appreciate you staying as long as you did. Hope you
Yeah,
feel better.
well, I have an issue with pain, and it's been awful for 30
Oh, no.
minutes. And
Yeah, yeah. Take care of yourself. I hope you feel better.
Yeah,
See ya.
man, definitely.
Okay. You can spend the momentum to take the next action, or I can go. And actually, do I have anybody left to go? I don't think I do.
But does
Yeah,
that
I
mean
I
think
think
we all go
the 2
until
of
it's
you are
over?
up next.
Okay.
Yep.
So Dell will go. Dell will shoot at the remaining Ulan. And yep, just a regular old shot here. Now, can I now, after I've seen that I didn't get it, can I then say I want to use my determination?
Yes, you can with determination if you have a value that is applicable. So
And
it's called a moment of inspiration that would let you roll another die. But you'd have to have a value that comes into play.
a value. Oh, okay. Test everything to its limits.
You know what? I'll even let you use that, saying that you're pushing your body to its limits by attempting to take another attack before your body gives out.
Okay. I will then change 1 to success to 3 successes by using my determination. And
Okay.
then I shall roll the damage on my type 1 phaser.
good one.
All right. So I'm assuming you're going to use vicious and make that be 5 damage. Who are you attacking?
I'm attacking Ulan 2.
All right, that's enough to drop Ulan 2. Let me
Yes.
just make sure. Oh, I misspoke. The Ulan has resistance. So you did a total of 4, 5, 6. It has 3 resistance, so you only did 3 damage. So it does not have an injury.
Okay. And I think that's about all I can do. And that was Han or Dell.
Okay.
But now Lois.
Is Lois one of the people that left?
I guess so.
I think, yeah. Yeah, Lois
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
Yeah,
You can just do his attack for him, I guess.
that was the captain.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that real quick. Control, security. Yeah, I'll say he can use his focus with guerrilla tactics. Oh, that was horrible. Okay, Lois is done. All right, that is it for this round.
All right.
All
What
right.
determines which side goes first at the top of a new round?
Generally speaking, it is the party that didn't go last goes first. This round.
Okay, gotcha.
So, but in the interest of speeding things up, I'm going to let you guys go first.
All
right.
right. So
Who's gonna take somebody
basically,
out?
I'm gonna whip out my Ushan Tor and challenge the Klingons because he's bloodthirsty, and I figure he'll go for it, and
Is
I'll
that
keep him from
Quellis?
like, yep.
Okay, go ahead. You can move into range and attack him.
All right.
Yes.
All right, you're in melee, so this is an opposed check. So you're going mano a mano. He's got
Yep.
his Batleth.
Ooh.
So this is daring and security opposed rolls.
In Star Trek RPG, there's none of this semantics of changing weapons and having to drop stuff on the floor and all that stuff, is there?
There sort of kind of is, but we're good with this.
Yeah, we're not today, but yeah, I just was wondering.
Yeah.
Okay.
And since I have a blade focus, I'm gonna go ahead and use that.
Go ahead. Do you want me to roll
And
first, or do you want to go first?
go ahead and roll first.
He has a focus in hand-to-hand combat, so I get to use my focus too. And I won't use any threat on this. That only rolled the one die, though, so hold on. I got to roll the other die. So he's got a total of 3 successes.
All right. So basically, I need to exceed 3 successes.
Yes.
All right. So I am. Let's see. I have a base of 2, so I am gonna, if it's okay with you, Rob, since I think it's just us, I'm gonna spend a threat to add at least another die to my pool.
Absolutely.
We have 3 momentum too, though, right?
You do.
Yeah, but I need to spend a threat.
Oh,
for,
gotcha.
Yeah, for a talent that'll.
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you. Oh, you got 4 successes, so you win and get to deal your damage.
Nice.
All right, and let's go ahead and do that.
Wow.
Hello.
All right, so I'm assuming you're going to do a total of 8 damage.
Yep.
All right. The problem is the Klingon does have resistance, so that only does 4. He is not injured.
Wait, does he have an effect though? Is there any effect
He
for the
used
thing?
the effect to add 1 damage.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So he, but his stress does go down by 4, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
All right. The Klingon is going to go now, and he is going to return the attack against Quellis. So, Quellis, this will be an opposed check again.
All right.
So, daring and security. I have 2 successes.
All right. I will spend a momentum and add a die to me.
Added item.
And actually, you got 1 additional momentum because you had beat his score by 1 last time. So I just added that.
All right.
Nice.
And I got 4 successes.
No, 3.
Oh, sorry, 3. Yeah.
3 successes compared to his 2. So you win and get a momentum. So you get to deal damage again.
Oh, it's abusive at times.
I like someone attacks you and you damage them. I love it. So
all right, total
3
of
more.
7 damage. So
Yep.
3 more stress. And it's your attack.
Can I go next?
Yep, absolutely. Go for it.
All right, so Nathania is going to turn around, draw his phaser, and shoot. I'm actually going to shoot the Romulan Ulan. God, I'm totally not ready. Okay.
The Ulan or the Centurion?
Ulan.
Okay.
Or do you want me to move a little bit?
No, you don't have to. You're doing a ranged attack?
Yeah, I want to use my minor action to aim.
Okay,
So
you
that,
can do that.
so that I can re-roll a d20 if I miss.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh, God.
You need to aim.
Yeah, no
It's
kidding.
not going to matter, though, because you need 2,
Well,
right?
I
He
need
could
to.
crit. He could crit though.
That's
Oh, should have used momentum too. I was
true. Roll
going
a
to.
1, baby.
You can use momentum.
Yeah,
if you want.
use momentum. Roll
Can I?
2.
Okay. So I'll roll 2 then again. Okay,
Almost.
so I miss. I almost hit Colas. How I say that? All right, and that's it for me.
All right. The Ulan is going to go next. And is going to shoot at. Oh, Quellis is the closest one, so he's actually going to shoot at Quellis.
Hello.
Let's hope he misses and hits the Klingon.
Is there negative if you're in the same zone, is there negative for ranged?
Not in the same zone, but if you're in reach and trying to
Got it.
fire
Okay.
a weapon, that increases the
You can't
difficulty.
stick a phaser in a guy's ribs without a penalty.
Right.
How would you miss?
That is a failure.
All right, Starfleet.
Yep, Starfleet's turn.
Okay, Leon is definitely going to shoot that Ulan. Or not.
And again, remember, you guys can use your momentum if you want to.
Yeah, I didn't want to, so I was okay.
Okay, that was Leanne.
Maybe I'll get lucky and build us some more.
All right, the decorated Centurion is going to fire at Linares. He can at least be a meat shield while he's here. Damn, that's a Klingon veteran. I need the commander. Oh my God. Another complication. This this commander sucks. So let's see if he hits an ally again.
Nice. I see how he rose to command.
Yeah, he killed everybody. Is that the same person that? No, the Klingon did it before, right?
No, it was the same.
No, it's the same. The same Centurion.
All right, so the
Decorated.
Centurion was aiming for Quellis, missed Quellis, and hit the Klingon.
Nice.
And
Resist that,
does
bitch. Oh, saw a lot of dice there.
That was a lot of dice, but not much damage. So it did a total of 3 damage. The Klingon was able to absorb it all
Mm-mm.
with the armor.
Well, at least it wasn't one of us.
All right, your turn.
All right, I guess Dell will go. Dell is gonna shoot at the Ulan. Just a regular old. Not gonna use any momentum or anything.
Oh.
Jesus.
Wah, wah.
Wah, wah.
All right, who was Dell shooting at?
The Ulan.
Ulan.
Did I just put a band-aid on him or something? What happened?
I'm gonna say her weapon, her phaser is overheated too, so she's not gonna be able to fire next round.
Okay.
No, that's too much of a penalty, and we're winding down. I'm gonna give myself 2 more threat.
Okay, that's good. And then, is there anybody left on their side?
No.
So Lois and Caprell have things they can do.
So I found the rule on first aid, and it says if you succeed, it means that the injured character is stabilized but remains incapacitated.
All right. So
Oh, boo. How, you have to actually heal them?
I guess, which I don't know how to do that. But I think Deprell is still down.
well, no, we brought T'Prell up, so we're gonna keep T'Prell up.
Okay.
All right, so Lois is gonna fire. That is a miss. And who was the other one that didn't?
Caprell.
All right, more misses. Okay, your turn.
Quellis, second verse, same as the first. Spend a threat and go cat go.
Okay, go ahead. So this is opposed, daring, and secure.
Yep, and go ahead and roll first.
Okay, let me just bring him up.
I like this game.
Yeah.
I like the
that was
2d20
horrible.
mechanic. I like it.
I like
Okay.
the momentum and threat.
Yep, I like it.
All right, so how many successes did he get?
He got 0.
Oh.
So you really have to screw this up not to win it.
Yeah.
It's 3
All right.
momentum. Nice.
Yeah, so you gain the momentum and you get to roll your damage.
All right.
Total of 5 damage.
Yep.
So 1.
Yep. You might want to seize the momentum initiative, spend 2 momentum, and see if you could take him out. Or you could just wait for him to attack you.
That's kind of what I'm going for on this here.
All right, so he's going to attack you. He's going to do daring and security. He's got his hand-to-hand focus. I'm going to buy... I'll just buy 1 die for now. No, I'll buy 2. And instead I gave myself them. Damn.
How dare you?
All right, so I'm going to give myself 2 dies. And roll. I've got 4 successes.
All right. So, second trick, I'm going to spend 1 threat, give myself a 3rd die.
Maybe 2.
And then you can spend 1 momentum
you know what?
to get an
Yeah,
additional
let's.
die.
Yep. So, yeah, we'll spend 1 threat, 1
our
momentum
max
for 4.
momentum is 6, right? We can't get more than that.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
So might as well spend 1 at least.
Yep. And let's go ahead and roll this bones. How about 5 successes?
Nice. Look at that.
Nice. Go ahead and roll your damage.
All right. Now, can I shift some of that momentum into the damage?
You can spend momentum to
Or
you can
into
actually
effects, I should say.
bonus damage. Yes, you can. You can spend
Yep.
momentum to get bonus damage.
We're down to 5
it's
though, right? We don't have 6. We have 5.
Yep, but he gained 1 success because he had 1 more than mine. So he got it. You can spend 1 momentum for an additional damage award, so you could spend all 6 and do an additional 6.
What do you guys think? Do we you want them out now?
Well,
So
you haven't rolled your damage yet, so we're going to see if we can add to the damage.
All right.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, I would say spend like 2 or 3 of them, maybe 4, because I want to spend 2 on my next shot, which is coming right now.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You know what? I'll spend 2.
Well, just
Or,
roll your damage first, and then you can decide to add however
Oh,
much
you can
want.
do it after. Oh, nice.
Yes.
Oh, 8 damage. Okay, does he have... He takes 4.
That's enough to take him out by itself.
All right.
Hey.
All right.
There you go.
And that was the Klingon attacking, right?
That was the Klingon attacking.
Yeah.
Okay, so Leon very much wants to go next. Leon is going to spend 2 momentum to roll 4 dice and shoot at the Romulan commander.
Okay.
Suck it! Nice!
Ooh, look at that.
All right, you earn back your momentum. That is a hit, and you can roll your damage.
All right, let's roll damage.
Okay, that's a total of 4 damage. It's got 3 resistance, so that would only do 1 damage.
I'm
but
gonna
you can spend
3.
All right, so the Klingon has a total of 4 damage. That leaves her with 7.
Oh my god, she's tough. Okay, that's it for me. She's tough, y'all. I say she's tough, y'all.
All right,
Yep.
so she's going to fire back at you.
How dare
She hasn't had much success to this point.
I put up my arms like Wonder Woman. Go ahead.
Oh God.
Watch
Complication.
this.
All right, that is a miss.
Yes.
All right. Nathaniel's turn.
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna shoot at the Ulan. Get rid of the guns. Oh wait, I want to aim again so I can re-roll, and also I'll spend just one momentum. Oh my god. What's wrong with me?
Whoa.
All right, that is a failure. You were shooting at who?
Ulan.
Ulan.
All right. I forgot what the actual rule for. I don't think you're actually going to hit them. So, Nathaniel, I'm going to say you're going to give me 2 more momentum or 2 more threat with that complication.
Very well. Oh, I can't believe I missed again.
All right, so that brings up the Ulan. And the Ulan is going to spend a whole bunch of threat to give himself some more dies. So he's going to get 3 extra dies. Gives him a total of 5 dice on his attack. Afraid that Quellis is too close. He's going to fire at Quellis. Getting 4 successes, so 2 more threat. Okay, that does a total of 7 damage to Quellis.
Oh.
No.
Yep, and that would drop me because I don't have any resistances, guys.
Wait, you can avoid injury though.
That's right. I forgot about that, actually. Good point.
Me too.
And I never knew about it, so there you go.
So avoid injury. Let me find the rule on that so I don't screw it up, since I forgot all about it.
It's a momentum spend, I think. Maybe not.
All right, yes. It costs 2 momentum, and you can avoid a single injury. The cost must be paid by suffering a complication instead. So you use up 2 momentum. You avoid the injury, so you're still in the fight. But there is a complication. And I'm going to say that you took a shot to your shoulder while you're still in the battle. It's going to increase the difficulty of your ranged attack, so it's going to cost you 3 successes instead of 2.
Okay.
Okay, now it's the Starfleet's turn.
Yep.
So who hasn't gone? Dell and Lois and Zhang. Okay. Dell will go. Dell will shoot at the Ulan and have no momentum. That's not even a thing. That, well, or what I meant was I miss. Okay.
All right, so now we've got Deprel.
Well, did you mark Dell out? Okay, so Dell went. And so Lois, Zhang, and Prel are left.
Okay, so Zhang can go ahead.
Okay, Zhang will shoot at the Ulan as well.
Success and a momentum.
Alright, damage. Nice.
Total is 7 damage against the Ulan. Has 3 resistance, so that brings 4. Do you want to spend... you got to spend 2 momentum, or is it 1?
Will 1 kill him?
Care to do that?
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear what you said. Will 1 kill him?
Yes, one will kill him, and you can spend the... I think it costs 2 to do 1, right?
Okay, so I'll spend one and 1 threat. Can I do that?
You can. Oops.
Okay. So yeah, I want to kill him.
All right. You can describe how the Ulan is taken out.
I slipped on my hand and set it to like disruptor or kill or whatever the highest setting was, and then I shot him in the face.
Okay. I didn't mean to send that to you, so ignore that. The Romulan Centurion, seeing that the battle is over, rather than be taken by Starfleet, turns the gun on herself and falls to the ground.
Nice.
Thanks.
Don't want to be taken by Starfleet, those bastards.
She really just didn't want the thunder with the blue antennae to sit there and just wreck her face in combat.
She's about to get her face wrecked.
I'm just saying, I did take out a Klingon in hand to hand.
Right. That's a very proud thing to say.
All right, so the prisoners in the cell are Tellarites. They're frightened and want nothing more than to leave on their own ship.
We need to check their necks for parasites. For sure. Is there a way we can do that through the force field?
You don't see any bluegills on their back. You can do a tricorder scan.
Totally. Control science?
Science or medicine.
Man.
All right, actually, it was a simple check, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
You don't detect any. You don't see any markings on their necks, and you don't detect any parasitic presence.
Oh, yeah, I say we let them go.
We can let them out then, right? Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay. They say thank you. But they're very quick to want to leave to their ships. Do you want to question them at all, or?
Yeah, I mean, we want to get the story about like how they came to be here and what they were doing at the station. What were they doing at the station anyway? Kotar.
So one of the prisoners chimes in and says, "Look, the Romulans paid us well. All we had to do was bring them the supplies on their lists and not ask any questions. That was fine by us. But after what happened on Quarter Station, they locked us up with no explanation. I never should have trusted those Romulan bastards, much less ones that kept company with a Klingon. They've barely said a word since they've turned on us. I did overhear them complaining once about Tal Duran and how his failures delayed their plans for Starfleet, whatever that means. They still owe us our last payment, though I'd just as soon forget about it and get the hell out of here."
Can you give us a copy of the supplies they wanted?
Yeah, we can transfer the manifest. I can't imagine we're going to get paid for these anyway, so sure. And he transfers the ship manifest to you.
Do you guys have anything?
We saved you. Give us Starfleet a good review on Yelp. Thank you.
Totally.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, they can go.
Yeah, we let them go.
Yeah, they've been through enough. I won't bother running a security check on them to see if they're wanted or anything. That'd be a little too by the bookish.
Yeah, we should do that.
So one of the things the last Tellarite says before boarding his ship, he says, "Look, I was tempted to try and make some use of this, but given how bad this last haul went, I don't want to risk it anymore. I heard over one of them talking about an Iconian gateway, and I don't need to tell you what that means. I don't know its location, but I heard them saying that they were trying to repair it. And you know what would happen if they succeeded. Um,
I'm gonna ask him. Does he have any idea why the parasites are interested in the Iconian gateway? I mean, or do we already know the answer? I
Yeah,
think I
you
know.
would know the answer on that. This is pretty well known in Starfleet. The Iconian gateways. Let me see if I've got an image of it. Hold on.
Yeah, that's like a time gateway, isn't it?
Time and space. You could basically go anywhere you want at any time.
It's like the Stargate.
Exactly. You don't see this now, but this is what they sort of look like.
By the way, is that loading thing? Is that supposed to be like an Apple II or something? What does that represent? That's funny. Oh, that's cool.
All right, so that actually is the end of this mission for tonight. There's one more mission, and I will be running it at some point. But there's 3 acts to this, and this is the middle act.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The
Well,
next
thanks,
act.
Talon. That was fun. I appreciate you putting that out there.
No, thanks. Sorry, it got a little janky at times. I had a crash last night, and I lost a lot of the data I had input, and I did have a backup, but it didn't restore it. So I was frantically scrambling 2 hours before the session, trying to get everything back in.
Yeah. Been there.
Oh, it's very good. Very good.
Well, thanks everybody. I appreciate the game.
Thanks, guys. Had fun.
All right.
Yeah,
talk to you
Rob.
guys
I was
later.
hoping you have a good time with this one.
Yeah, I liked it. Well, of course, I'm a big Star Trek fan. That helps.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Take care.
All right. Talk to you later.
See ya.
All right, so thanks everybody for watching. If you are watching this on Twitch Live, or if you are later watching this on YouTube, that was FGCon 15. We played Star Trek Adventures RPG, and it was fun, and I liked it, so I might get into that. I'm a giant 5e D&D 5e guy, but I really do like Star Trek as a genre, and the RPG seems fun. I enjoy the 2D 20 system. So, as a reminder,